I turned my cam on and it just said, look at it. What am I supposed to do? All right.
Your picture hasn't changed for me.
Oh, really? Okay, well.
Oh, nope, there we go.
Okay.
I'll switch mine too.
Yeah, get yours going. All right. So, we'll count down. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 184 of the KBMOD podcast. It is Easter Sunday, April 5th, 2015, and
2015 in the year of our Lord.
Yes, thank you, Brandon. In the year of our Lord. So I hope you all had a great Sunday with your family. I hope you all fucking went out and got all dressed up in your Sunday best and took pictures with your siblings who, 90% of the year you don't give a fuck about or talk to. I hope you had a great Easter Sunday dinner. You took pictures, you uploaded them to Facebook and filled my feed. I don't care about your family. I don't care about your siblings. I don't want to see them on any day of the year, and especially Sunday, Easter Sunday, but whatever. You went to church, all your sins are fucking forgiven. Yeah, Jesus is up there. He's like, hey, man, you come to church on Easter and you come to church on Christmas, but you know what? You're good with me. You're good with me now. Stop kidding yourselves, people. Fuck. Anyway, I hope it was good.
Does AD mean after Dwayne?
Yeah. Oh yeah. After Dwayne. Yeah, AD.
The year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord. But no, I do hope it was a good day. And if you do, however you celebrate it, whether it be with bunnies or with the stone rolling away, we're happy for you, no matter how.
Wait,
we are all inclusive.
Wait, do you have to pick one? Like, do you?
You do.
You cannot do both.
Is that a tradition that people do? They just go find a stone and they're like, all right, kids, get around. We're going to roll this stone.
Exactly. That's it.
Everybody put some
that was what I did
right now.
Yeah. My family
use your legs.
I mean, my family used to simulate, the rolling away of the stone, and it was a 4 or 5 hour affair. It was incredible. It took forever to roll that stone away, and we didn't get any candy. There was no hidden eggs for us. That's how we celebrated it. And I'm just saying, I was always told that it was either, you go with the blasphemous bunny side, or you roll the stone away with some good old elbow grease. So, I know maybe other people.
Yeah, you just got a lesson.
We get a lesson. Yeah. Our sore muscles.
You let your cousin out of the cave that you buried there 3 days earlier.
You'd bury that one
he's been
cousin you didn't
languishing
like.
in the dark.
Yeah.
That cousin, whoever cousin drew the short straw that year, he's never the same again. So you have a couple of cousins who are just fucked up because they got trapped in a cave for 3 days.
Our sore muscles and the fact that we couldn't actually walk the next day was our reminder of how great Easter was. But anyway, so yeah, I hope it was good. Nick and I, we had a great Easter dinner. We went to Boston Market and got their
You don't have to
Easter,
tell more people about this.
Easter Sunday. No, it was actually, and it wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't exactly home cooking, but had some mashed potatoes. Some
you don't
corn.
know if it was somebody might live at Boston Market. It could technically be somebody's home.
That's true. But
A really shitty version of that Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
The one where he lives in the airport.
Yeah.
That movie was shitty on its own.
I never saw that. That was like the beginning of Tom Hanks' skid. I feel like in movies. I feel like people were started after that movie. They were like, yeah, Tom Hanks really hasn't done a great one in a while. Anyway,
do people talk about that often?
I do. I remember I was always like Tom Hanks was like the shit, and I feel like in the last 10 years of his career haven't been all that great. But maybe I could be wrong. There might be movies I'm missing.
All right, let's talk about something interesting.
Okay, well then we're definitely not going to kick over to you. Let's see. What do we have today?
Cam.
God damn it, Cam.
Unregistered hypercam. Anyway, continue.
But no, let's talk about what we did this week. We'll get into what we've been playing. John is absent from the cast, right?
Yes,
This week.
yeah, he's
Then
got
won't be
family
joining us.
in town.
He's got family stuff.
I was absent last week.
You were. How was your time away?
So
Glad you're not dwelling on the past.
Yeah, no. So last Friday, not when I missed the podcast, I had the opportunity to have a cheeseburger and liquor party at Hex's house for Trailer Park Boys Season 9. And we binge watched the whole thing while drinking heavily.
You binge watched while you binged.
Yes.
No.
And it was amazing. And true to form, because Hex and Megan love to cook and cook well, the cheeseburgers were godlike.
Nice.
So, yeah, and Season 9 of Trailer Park Boys is amazing. If you haven't watched that show, you should watch it, but you should definitely watch Season 9 if you haven't yet. It's fucking fantastic. But then I missed the podcast because I was watching Wrestlemania, and it was awesome. It was a good time. It was over-the-top insane, as it's supposed to be.
That's pay-per-view, right?
No, Scott, let me...
Yeah, explain to me how this works now with wrestling.
If you sign up for the WWE Network,
okay,
for $9.99 a month,
Okay, but that's pay. Okay,
You
oh,
get
just
all
pay
the
flat.
pay-per-views, which are $60 on their own, free. So,
Oh, okay. Well, that makes. Why would you not do that? I guess if you're gonna.
I know. Plus, you can watch all the old ones whenever you want. So,
All right, that's a deal.
Yeah, that's just what I want to do.
yeah, fuck yeah, I do. But it was awesome.
What were the notable like holy shit that just happened stuff?
So
was there all of
it was
it?
mostly awesome. The best RKO ever delivered was at WrestleMania this year.
I saw that GIF. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. For those who don't know, if you haven't listened to this podcast before, I fucking love wrestling. Yes, I'm aware that it's fake.
Yeah, I love that. That's people's
I love
like,
when
you know it's
people are
fake,
like,
right?
You know it's
Yeah.
fake, right?
Oh, shit.
Yes, I do. So yeah, Seth Rollins tried to do his finishing move, which is the curb stomp, and they had him instead sort of launch himself off of Randy Orton's back, and then Orton caught him in midair and
Damn.
did the RKO. It was pretty impressive athletically, so it was pretty cool. The Undertaker wrestled, and he didn't look like he was 90 this year, which last year he looked terrible.
He actually got younger somehow.
Somehow, I'm pretty sure what he did was probably take a bunch of roids
Yeah.
to get back in real shape.
Oh, come on. There's no roids in wrestling. Come on.
Well, they are regulated now, so. But so that match was really good, and then the main event was super good. It was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and they both beat the hell out of each other, and they actually let Lesnar bleed. Because now, if you don't know, there's no blood in wrestling. They have like a cut guy at the side because they want to make it kid friendly. So, but they let him bleed, and I'm hoping this is them stepping back and kind of going away from the PG because it was better without it. Back to like the late 90s when The Rock and Stone Cold and stuff. And Ronda Rousey was awesome. She came out and did a little cameo thing with The Rock. And then, but yeah, Lesnar and Reigns beat the hell out of each other. And then in what was the biggest surprise of the whole night, and they had Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank. You don't know what Money in the Bank is? There's a ladder match every year at a pay-per-view, and the winner gets a contract that they can cash in any time to get a match for the World Championship. And he did it at WrestleMania, and he won. When they were both down and out. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. I do think WrestleMania is too damn long, though. Like, it was seriously 7 hours long. Like, it was
Oh, wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
Because they have like a kickoff show, and then they, just like the Super Bowl. You know, the Super Bowl, the day of the Super Bowl, the coverage starts at like noon, even though the game isn't till like
that's
6. It's the same thing. So
I guess that, I mean, if people are paying pay-per-view price, though,
Yeah,
like,
I
a
mean,
lot
you
of
get
people
all
want
that
that.
on
You make an
pay-per-view.
event out of it.
so, but yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That's the first one. I usually don't watch them live because I'm usually doing the podcast. So I was like, WrestleMania, I'll watch that one. Because you can just watch the replay right after it ends. So, but yeah, it was pretty good. Oh, I also told my son that the Easter Bunny and Santa aren't real.
Wow.
How'd he take that?
He
did that
Is he a real
today.
man about it?
How
Yeah,
was it?
he was like,
Also, my apologies to any like young children that listen to
Yes.
this podcast. And
Sorry.
just had that ruined for
This is
them.
why I always say spoilers before I say anything, Dan. Next time, you got to say spoilers because, like you said, Brandon, there are some definitely young kids that listen to this cast.
so what actually happened was I slipped and said, because there was so much candy, I was like, man, Mama got you guys a lot of candy.
Oh,
And I slipped and said that. And then I was
you
like,
idiot.
he didn't say anything to me. And then like an hour later, Megan like walked him downstairs. It was like, he's 7. Come on. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I have no idea what the age is.
I had a cousin who was like 12 years old before she was like adamant about it. But to be
I was
fair,
gonna say,
she
you
was
actually
very
have just
sheltered.
ruined Scott's life right now.
Scott didn't know. Yeah, until right now. So he comes downstairs and he's like, what did you mean when you said that? And I was like, well, Easter Bunny's not real. I just went straight to it.
Shit.
And he's like, you know what? I felt like that's why Mama wouldn't let me go to the store with her last night. And I was
Nice.
like, nice. All right, you get it. So he just took it all in stride. He took it all in stride. Megan was a wreck. She was like,
Yeah.
my child is. I've
Right.
just killed the fun of every holiday. I was like, don't tell Zoe though.
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
don't tell
Zoe's
Zoe.
not ready for that.
Yeah,
No
she's
way.
3. I was like, she's got a few more years of.
Dan's like, she's got one more year. Once she's 4,
Yeah, once she's 4,
we'll hit her
that's-
with it.
It's
We'll hit her
too
with
old.
it.
I want
think
her to ruin.
the way that you're supposed to do that is that you explain it to the older child, and then they get in on it, and they enjoy like being able to play and make the younger child's experience better.
Yeah. So, because I guarantee, I mean, what are the odds that Hunter's not going to go, Zoe, come on. It's
I know,
not
right?
real.
I also broke it to him that wrestling wasn't real the other day.
Wow, we're really.
Well, that's true.
That's like, you know what? All of life is a lie, and you need to learn now.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Good.
you're
All
wrapping
out
your
now.
own presents.
You're going to be raising the youngest nihilist ever. He's just like, what does it matter, dude? None of it matters. No one cares. Yeah.
Kids will be in school talking about Santa and be like, come on, man. Believe in something real for once in your life.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's funny. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Start chiming in. I dress like a bunny and stand in the corner of Atlas' room at night so he'll believe. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Jesus.
God,
that's
that's
dedication.
creepy.
That is, yeah. Well, that's good. You also just like to fucking Blair Witch Sark, so it's more what I believe that you're doing. But all right, well that's good.
Yeah.
Anything else? Look at Dan came with all kinds of fun
man.
non-gaming stuff this week.
Hell
He
yeah.
takes a week off, but he comes and he contributes. Anybody else have anything that happened that they would like to talk about that was fun or interesting, or do we
I just
gonna
fucking
go to
work
bed?
all the time. I don't have.
Yeah.
I work like 12 hours a day.
Listen, I bet you something happened on Bart. Come on, say anything. Come on.
So I was riding my bike home yesterday
Here we go.
from the store, and there's these 2 kids off to the side of the road, and they have a bike like upside down, and they yell at me. They're like, "Hey, do you have tools?" And I'm like, "Well, no." So I keep an Allen key in my bag that I ride around with all the time because my bike's pedal likes to fall off because it's a piece of shit. So in order to repair that, I have to have the tool for it. But that was all I had, and I was just like, all right, so what's the problem? So I kind of wheel around, I swing up alongside them, and their chain is caught like in between their pedal and the frame of the bike, and they can't get it out. It's one thing if your chain pops off; it's another if it's like wedged into a different part of the bike. Like you're kind of fucked. So I'm like, so I'm just kind of chatting with these kids. They're like when I say kids, they're like 14, 15. They're like teenagers.
I hope you kill him.
They're about to
at the
mug.
end.
I was going to say, they're about to mug.
So I
but
murdered
violently
them and
mug
cut
Rob.
them up into little pieces. No, so I just basically I tried to help them out. I pulled on the chain really hard, and my hand slipped, and I just sliced my pinky open on the
Ooh.
Ah,
gear
I
of the bike.
hepatitis.
God.
And they were like,
Yeah, I saw you tweet that you were putting alcohol in it. You're not supposed to do that.
yeah,
It's
well, it
hydrogen
happened.
peroxide.
No, I know you're supposed to put peroxide. I didn't have any peroxide.
What? I thought you were
See-
supposed to apply a Smirnoff Ice directly to an open wound.
Yes. That's what it
supposed
means.
to
That's what it
ice
means to
Bro.
ice your bro.
Yeah, you-
When your
Bro,
bro is
hand me
injured,
Dude, what the nurse said to
Icing
ice my wound. What the fuck? I
icing-
did,
icing
dude.
a bro
I did. I
came-
poured an
came
entire
up
bottle of
around when
Smirnoff into my
Scotland was warring for its independence. It's in Braveheart.
God.
You're supposed to put a Smirnoff Ice on the wound. So yeah, I mean, that was just kind of what I had. It was I know I'm not really supposed to put rubbing alcohol on it.
Wait, so did you end up helping them, or you just end up hurting yourself and leaving?
I just basically hurt myself and then left.
Better. That not only did they not get any help, is that you actually hurt
Yeah.
yourself, so they probably feel even shittier. They were like, I'm
Yeah,
out.
no, I felt because I was just kind of and I wasn't really hurt. I wasn't oh fuck. I was just kind of oh yeah, sorry guys, I can't really get it. And I just fucked up my hand. They looked at all the blood coming out, and they're like, oh shit. They start freaking out. I'm like, no, really, it's not a big deal. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, guys, I think you're gonna have to call somebody. And I go to leave, and the one just randomly decides to start making small talk with me. I guess he saw I have a Smash Brothers lanyard that I keep my keys on, and he's like, oh, do you play Smash Brothers? And I'm just sitting there with a bleeding hand. I'm like, I'm more of a melee guy. And
I gotta go, man. You should have started the small talk before I fucking
I'm
cut myself
passing
open.
out.
yeah, right?
Blood.
So I'm like, all right, guys, have a good one. Sorry I couldn't help get your bike fixed. And so I go home, and and as I'm wheeling away, they're like, take care of your hand, man. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, I'm fine. I was only like maybe 5 minutes from my house, so I pedaled back, and then I kind of like start tweeting about it. I, like take some good gory pictures of my pinky, which is like bleeding profusely, like skin hanging off in flaps.
God.
So I patched myself up. No worse for the wear. Pinky's fine, and I was like, you know what? I have tools here. I should probably try and go find those kids. So I took my tools back out and went back to where they were. By the time I got there, they were gone. So I assume they got their shit fixed or they died or whatever.
I don't want to sound judgmental here because I do the same thing, but I like how everything has now become like, you know, man, I slit my finger open, but dude, I got some sick pictures. And dude, my Twitter feed for like an hour was super interesting. But I won't just point you out because I routinely say this to Nick. We'll be watching something. I'll be like, dude, I need that as a GIF, man. Go back.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like, wouldn't that be such a good reaction GIF, dude?
Like, this is what I've become. I'm like,
what the fuck are we?
Yeah, no,
Do you follow
so much.
We're children of the internet.
Do you follow Gatman?
So,
I think so.
Our legendary mod Gatman. He's been following us for a long time. Well, he was up in Vancouver visiting, and this goes along with this like Twitter fascination of like every once in a while it like becomes this thing that you would rather watch than TV. And he was watching this couple that had not closed their blinds at all. And he live tweeted this couple having sex for 2 hours.
oh,
This dude, he's like, yo, this dude is going in. He went back like 5 or 6 times.
Well, yes, that's how sex works. The dude goes in.
This guy was unbelievable, though. The stamina on this man.
Makes you a peeping Tom.
yeah. No,
Yeah, that's pretty gross, but it's funny because he tweeted it.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But that is true. That's another thing, is that behavior that is not acceptable normally on Twitter is like, dude, that's fucking sick, dude. Did you read the live feed of those old people having sex? It is. It is actually. Yeah.
He was like, I was like, dude, thank you so much. You like made my afternoon, dude. I kept asking him for pics. I was like, come on,
God,
dude, tweet me some pics. So
That's
he finally tweeted a picture of just like they were gone, of like the view that he had.
The view. Yeah.
And he was like, he's like,
I saw that.
Thanks for watching, dude. Now I don't know what to do with the rest of my afternoon. Because like they were like, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. And then he would tweet like 10 minutes later, yo, they're back again. like they couldn't stop. It was amazing.
Well, so
No.
the like, it's not like I considered it a good thing. I like sliced my finger open, like just because I got to tweet like a gross picture. It was just kind of like, if I'm in this situation anyway, I might as well start like cracking jokes on it online. Like that's just kind of my reasoning now.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
It's not like, oh, worse.
True.
You know, I'm not that fucking pathetic yet.
It's like the same thing though, where people are at like, but it's the same thing when you're at. I haven't gone to like a baseball game or sporting event in a while, but when you go there and everyone has like they're watching the game through their fucking phone, but it's happening in front of them on the field, and so like someone will have their phone out, like zoom in, like look at this, like you're on fucking the third baseline, like watch the game. Not everything has to be.
Are you 58?
Recorded. No, I feel like I am, but it is though. It's like constantly.
I just want to go to a good ball game and everyone's watching the goddamn game through their goddamn phones.
But it really is. It's just like everything has to be recorded. Nothing. Sark always rants about this too, but I think it's rubbing off on me. But like nothing can just have happened and be in your memory if it's not on film or video. It's like who cares, man? Fuck it. It's like the memory's not good enough anymore.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm 60 years old. It is happening. All right. Well, that was good. Blah, you brought that was a fun little story. I like that.
Yeah, it was a nice little aside. Kids are
Brandon,
probably dead.
anything to add, or you can go in the
market.
No, the only like I guess slightly interesting thing was I took a computer onto the train, and I got in like weird conversations with people.
Oh, I saw you tweet about that. Yeah,
you can't really see.
Yeah.
It's too blurry.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. I mean, there were a bunch of people on the train, and like this older gentleman saw it, and I had to stand because there were no seats, and so he starts talking to me about it, and he would just, it was awkward because he would ask me a question and I would answer, and then he would wait like 20 seconds or so, and you could tell like
it's the worst.
He doesn't have music or anything. Like he doesn't have anything to do, and so he's just like you can tell he's still curious. So I know I'm gonna get another question, and I don't necessarily mind talking to people on the train every now and then, but it's just so funny when like people want to ask you questions about this thing that they don't understand at all. But he kind of tried to make it sound like he understood what was happening, and so he's like, how much he was like, how much memory does it have? And I told him, and I was like, it's got 16 gigs, and he looks there puzzled, and
Oh no.
You probably meant hard drive space or something, or.
And then I like he figured out a second, like, I don't know, 30 seconds later that he was talking about hard drive space, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
because he was like that doesn't sound, he was like, oh, that doesn't sound like that much, and I was thinking like, I was like, what are you talking about? You don't know anything about computers.
I love that everybody that doesn't know anything about computers, their favorite thing to ask is how much hard drive space there is.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
you
favorite.
don't even know how much that, like, what that means. You don't even know how long that would take to fill.
I know, but that's why I just thought it was so funny when I said 16 gigs, and he was like, "Oh, that's not really that much, is it?" I was like, "What are you talking about? That's a ton of RAM."
Brandon's getting defensive. He's like, "Fuck you, man. Move on.
Well,
Move
no,
on."
I mean, I was nice about it. I was just like,
sucks, dude.
I was just like, yeah, it gets the job done or whatever. And then I figured out he was talking about hard drive space.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's got a solid state drive and stuff. But anyway, and then another guy is on the train, and he was asking me like what video cards it has and stuff. He was like, yeah, I don't build my own or anything, but like I'm really into this stuff. So I don't know. I guess it was
Obviously
interesting
not.
that
He's
I was just
obviously
surprised.
not
I was
trying
surprised
to.
that people were like actually interested in this thing, but I guess that you don't often see people carrying
With a full
PCs
desktop,
on the
yeah.
train.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make you a target for unwanted conversation. That's the worst, though. If I'm riding, I mean, you guys ride public transit way more than I ever have to, but I can't. I hate making small talk with people I don't know. I can't even handle being in an elevator. Like, I will deliberately walk the other direction if I see that I have to wait in an elevator with somebody. I just can't. It's so awkward. I can't do it.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, right. You
See,
do
the trick, you have to know
I'll take
how
the
to
stairs.
approach it. The trick is that you wear your headphones the entire time. You put your headphones in. It doesn't matter whether you're lilistening to music or not.
Yeah,
you
that's a
just
good
have them in.
Oh yeah,
that is the key.
true. To
And
get the
because
assumption.
Yeah.
because I was carrying my desktop, I didn't have that chance. So I was already on the train, and like he, as I was pulling them out or whatever, he starts talking to me, and I'm like, oh, I can't be that guy that I answer the question and I put the headphones in to like clearly say I do not want to talk to you anymore.
Well, you could.
I mean, I could, but I don't know, it seemed like he was getting a kick out of it. This guy was like 70. I mean,
Yeah.
part of me was just like, I was like, yeah, you know what? That's cool. Like, 70-year-old guy is interested in a custom-built PC. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but hey, at least he's interested.
Like Sark's question, how many buttons does that beauty have?
Does that thing run off
Got all
Steam,
20,
or-
26 letters, a few symbols, some numbers.
Sean with another. What kind of DOS you got on there? Had a good DOS.
Oh, man.
That's kind of what I felt like. But I mean, at least like his questions were at least like kind of real questions. But I just thought it was just funny because you could tell he was just trying to have a conversation. Like he didn't really know what he was talking about. He was out of his element. But
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, like, he clearly didn't have anything else to do, because for many people, that is what they have to do on BART. Like, when my phone broke, my phone was broken for a while, and all I had to do on BART was just, like, I forget what happened to my DS. My DS was out of commission for a little while, too. So all I had to do on BART was talk to people. Every single day for like 2 weeks, I would just drum up conversations with strangers. And like, yeah, sometimes there'd be those people who clearly didn't want to be bothered. I'm not going to bother those people. I'm not going to talk to somebody who has headphones in. But like, for the most part, I just entertained myself by just talking to random people that I didn't know. And it was really fun. You kind of like learn a lot about different walks of life and shit. I like met some guy who was like, he didn't look homeless at all, but he was totally homeless. And like, he was like, yeah, I invented an art form where I go into the woods and collect animals and like dead animals and make sculptures out of their bones. And I was like, you know what? I'd be really terrified, but you seem pretty amicable and not like fucked up in the head. So
That's how they all seem.
Yeah.
well,
I was going to say the problem you have there is that like the people that generally, the people that oftentimes start talking to you are like these terrible, awful, crazy people.
Yeah.
Wait.
That sounds like the
Did the
BART.
homeless guy try and convince you he invented taxidermy? Is that what?
No, it's kind of the opposite of taxidermy. Rather than remove the bones and make a sculpture out of what's remaining, he would make like bone sculptures. He showed me
so
like
he's
his
a serial
website.
killer.
Ted Bundy
He's-
was a
he's
nice guy
serial
too.
killer.
I think
a good
I don't think
name.
it's really an art form that you invented if it's like already been done in like voodoo. but
Yeah.
kind of they looked like creepy like totems. Like I was like, I could definitely see people buying those. Like, I would
I'm pretty sure probably Indian tribes and other have been doing that for thousands of years.
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
But yeah,
I think the claim that he invented the art form is a little strong.
yeah, it's good. All right,
A little bit of a bold claim.
I invented art. That's what I'm gonna tell people on the train now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Let's start with you, Dan. You go first.
I played more Bloodborne. I think I'm about halfway done with Bloodborne.
How many hours is that so far?
20 some right now.
Okay.
I'm really slow, especially with the beginning of that game. I'm so tentative in Souls games, at least for a good chunk
same.
of it, because also in Bloodborne it is super easy to get lost. It's not that easy to get, like, you can go where you shouldn't go yet in Dark Souls, but in Bloodborne, like, there's a million paths through these levels and like shortcuts, and like that game is just it's just freaky, man, in a way that Dark Souls is not.
Yeah, it's way more horror.
Yes. It's like snakes and spiders and like I don't know. It's just creepy. The whole atmosphere is very like Lovecraftian sort of horror. Like all the people are the actual people that you meet. They're all creepy.
They're all creepy, insane. Like even the ones that are like you should kind of be down with, the one that's like a flirty whore. She's like something about her's like really off.
Yeah,
it's like creepy that somebody could be a whore in this world.
Yeah, and like there's a guy. Okay, so spoilers. If you're playing this brand new, very popular game, Bloodborne.
Earmuffs.
So there is a guy you meet after you fire a cannon. I'm trying to be as general as possible. And there's a guy you meet on a roof, and there's a corpse right next to him. But the corpse looks like it's been there for quite some time, but he has like a sort of, I guess, blindfold type thing on, and he is covered in blood. But he talks to you. He's an NPC. And I was like, you know what? He's not putting off good vibes, really. And he was like, could you tell me about this safe place? Because there's a part you get to that's kind of known as this sanctuary where people can go during the hunt, whatever that is. I still am not sure what the whole
still not clear
of all
about
this is. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll tell you about it. I was like, and as I was doing that on stream, I was like, I should not tell this guy about this place. Like one of my other NPCs is about to get straight murdered by this dude. So I reload, I go back to the chapel, because this is like a really interesting thing in this game that isn't in other Souls games. And I load into the chapel. The old lady who hated me, but I told her where to go, is now gone, and there's just a huge blood stain and trail.
Oh my god.
Where she was.
Yeah.
And I don't see her corpse anywhere, and all the enemies in this area are now gone for the most part.
What the fuck?
And Blindfold Dude is nowhere to be seen. Or he's right outside, actually, like eating dirt off the ground and just talking. Like,
Same.
Yeah. So he hasn't murdered the whore lady, though. She's still there. And the weird sort of freak thing that lives on the floor of the cathedral is also still there.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
he's like just super nice.
Yeah, he's like, oh, tell everybody to come here.
Everybody's not safe out there. You should bring him here. Also, I'm a creepy little gremlin that lives on the ground.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm totally like into finding out what happens with all these NPCs. So spoilers over, if people were wondering in chat. But yeah, so I'm totally into these the little sort of side stories. There's a lot of flavor in this game, which there wasn't in Dark Souls 2, and there is in Dark Souls 1. That's why I loved that game so much. Is there's so much
Dark Souls
depth.
2 is directed by a different guy, right?
Yes, yeah. Miyazaki didn't make it, so he did do Bloodborne. But I'm on the 6th boss, and it is the worst boss in the history of bosses, and I hate it, and it's just the worst. Plus, it's a giant spider, so if you're into that or not into spiders, you're not going to be okay with this.
Yep.
Jim Sterling wants plushies made of this boss, so It's kind of cute, I guess, in a way, if it wasn't a spider. So yeah, I'm stuck on that. I've continued my quest to get 100% of the Isaac achievements, or as close to it as I can. And I'm only 3 characters away from having finished all the characters on hard mode. And I played some Street Fighter again this week, and I started playing Dalsim. Picked up Dalsim, and it's been really fun. He fits the fact that I'm an old man with no reactions, so I can just sort of sit and play defensively with him. So that's been pretty fun to do. And I tried to play co-op Bloodborne with Tim, but man, you got to jump through about 1,000,000 hoops before you can co-op.
Why is this so difficult? Is it like like technically it's just difficult?
It was difficult in the Souls games because everything has to conform to the lore of the world, the way they make co-op work.
Yeah.
So you have to get like 10 insight, which are just humanity. This isn't spoilers. This is just how you co-op. So you each have to have 10 of those so you can buy this beckoning bell so you can call each other to your worlds. But in Bloodborne, what's cool is you can co-op and basically choose who you want to co-op with really easily. Because you can sort of password your world, and you can just give your password to your friends, and then they can join your world. And you can co-op up to 3 or 4 people, I think. So Tim and I are going to be doing that. We both got sort of leveled characters up to where we need to be to do that. So hopefully we'll get to do it this week. But they do make you. I just wish I get what the Souls games are about. I get the lore, and they want you to be in this world. But just make co-op something I can choose from the beginning. Let us choose to enter the world as like 2 hunters, and maybe they force you to play the beginning and meet up at the first lantern or something. But it's just kind of like I get it, but really, this would be more fun if you would just let us hit join friends game, and then we could play together. But as it is, you got to do about 45 minutes of work on your own. And that's if you don't die at all, to get the shit you need, and then you can co-op. So, but I don't know, it's really annoying because it seems to be really fun to co-op, but, and they made it so that you can specifically play with friends in this game, which you couldn't really do easily in the other ones, and it's still a pain. So that's kind of annoying. What else? We played some Killing Floor this week. On the Friday drinking stream, and we played on this moon-based map, and it was amazing. There was like mini quests on it and stuff where you could get like 8 pieces of a weapon, and you got this really overpowered laser, and like I don't know, that game's awesome, and I can't wait for Killing Floor 2. That game is still super good.
Is there, I forget if we talked about a release date for Killing Floor 2 last week.
2015.
Okay.
That's all we have.
That's all we have. Yeah,
I would think it's coming out like it's going to be one of the November games. I would think. And I would think that game probably won't be. It'll be way more than Killing Floor was when it came out because that was just a mod. So I would think like $40 maybe on that game.
Okay.
I don't think they'll put out a $60 Killing Floor title. I just don't see Tripwire doing that.
I don't think there's any chance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's tons of footage out there. You guys, I put it on the podcast document last week, but I don't know if you guys went into it at all. But there's tons of footage now of Killing Floor 2 out there, like full playthroughs and stuff from PC Gamer and some other sites. But yeah, Killing Floor is awesome because it's 8-player, or can be 8-player. So
yeah.
So yeah, we had like a 14-man server going on Friday.
Oh, that's
it was awesome. So
alrighty. All right. That's Dan. Blacklight. Hit me.
Been playing a teensy bit of CSGO, but not really because I'm really playing gun game, and it's like I'm a fucking casual. I don't like the main game's too stressful for me. People rely on you, and I'm terrible, and I just don't want to do that to people. And I've managed to find some more time to play Bloodborne. Picked up a little bit more Monster Hunter, and I've been playing Blackrock, the new expansion for Hearthstone, which is pretty fun.
Is the adventure cool?
It's interesting, yeah. So far, only the first wing is open, and they're doing what they did with Noxramas, where they release it 1 week at a time. You know, you can pay like a lump sum to unlock all of them at once, or unlock one at a time. I don't know why you would ever do that, really. But it was it's been fun so far. The one legendary that came out so far, Emperor Thaurissan, is like probably the only good legendary in the entire expansion.
I want to look
He's
this up.
he's a 6 mana for 5/5, and at the end of every turn, he lowers the cost of all cards currently in your hand by 1 permanently.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah, so you can hold on to them for like you can get like 6 mana Flame Strike, or he can eventually make cards free if he survives long enough, which he probably won't. People are going to make him a pretty high removal priority, but he's still like 5/5 is like beefy enough. Like for 6, that's pretty bad stats wise, but his effect is just so powerful and so consistent. Considering his effect triggers at the end of turn, I would not be surprised to see this guy nerfed. Maybe get the Nat Pagel treatment where instead of at the end of your turn, it happens at the beginning of your turn, so he has to survive for 1 full enemy turn before his effect takes hold.
I thought they'd give him a different. That's a weird. I'm always interested in Hearthstone cards, even though I haven't played it in like 8 months. But I'm always interested in what they do because I'm so into the WoW side of it as far as like abilities as to what they do. I'm surprised they didn't give him like a double attack because that's what he actually does.
Yeah, his actual fight in BlackRock, like in his single player fight, because he's one of the bosses you fight, is pretty interesting. He's got his wife, like he does in BRD or whatever his dungeon was called. He's got his wife Moira. And Moira's a minion that he has at the beginning of the fight. And she's on Heroic, she's a 3/1 that attacks every turn, but will never attack minions unless they have taunt. And if she dies, he gets to use his ability, which is to instantly kill you. So the whole idea is you have to keep her alive while killing him. And then he has a bunch of ways where he can accidentally kill his own wife because he's got like a bunch of minions that deal AoE damage and stuff, and it's pretty fun.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's just like every other expansion. It's interesting. It's fun. You play through it once, and then you never really have any reason to play through it again. I'm excited to play the other wings, unlock the other cards. That's about it. Nothing too exciting.
Okay. Nick Fenton.
Halo.
God,
You streamed. You
I
streamed
did.
on the internet.
Yes.
I streamed.
Please
Halo.
talk about that. Yesterday, right?
There's not really much to talk about. I opened OBS, I hit start broadcasting, and I streamed video game.
Did you talk with anybody in the chat, or I mean?
No.
Okay. All right. Well.
People would have had to show up for that to happen.
All right, Brandon. All right.
Nice, dude. Damn.
I'll remember that.
That's all you played, though? All you played is Halo?
I played a game of Smite on Xbox.
Did you play the next episode of fucking...
How is it on Xbox?
It works. It's an alpha, so like my biggest complaint about it is the performance. I hope it's gonna be 60 FPS, but like currently it feels sub 30.
How's the controls?
Good for a console. Probably the best like MOBA in terms of like feel. I don't feel completely like useless like how you would think you would. But auto attacking is kind of weird. But spells and stuff are fine. I think the default controls it's like set to like your 4 abilities are your ABXY, so you just kind of throw them out there. I don't know. It's fun. It's Smite. It is like actually just the same game. Minus a couple things, but it's good.
Okay. Brandon.
I've been playing the new Hearthstone expansion. Not a whole lot to talk about there, but it's fun if you play Hearthstone and you enjoyed Naxxramas, the last adventure. I think you'll probably enjoy this one too. Like it's got the same sort of gimmicks that the previous adventure did. Like I enjoy it. It was it's an instant purchase for me. And the new cards so far, aside from Emperor Tharasan, have been pretty inconsequential. But that card has already seen a lot of use in competitive play because there were like 3 Hearthstone tournaments on this weekend, and a ton of the decks included that card because it's just really, really strong. So I've been playing that. The only other thing I played, I played a few ARAMs here and there, but I decided to try Battlefield Hardline because I got a key for it.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I just gave it a shot. I didn't get to play the multiplayer because I didn't want to play it alone because I knew I just wouldn't stick with it. So I decided to try the single player real quick, and it's not good.
No?
I thought it was fun as hell.
I heard it was decent for a Battlefield game.
So, well,
It's just a
I
cop
don't know.
show. You're just playing through a cop show. It's kind of cool.
I don't know. I guess maybe like I don't know what my expectations were going in, but well, it's like episodic, and I crashed like halfway through one of the episodes or something. I had to start from the very beginning again.
Ooh.
You can't skip the cutscenes. You can't move past the terrible story. It is just like I don't know. It sort of takes itself seriously, but then it doesn't, because it's like awful. Like the dialogue and the situations are like so dumb. So, I mean, I don't know. It's. I guess if you buy that game, you probably know what you're getting into. And granted, I didn't make it very far through, but that was mainly because like I couldn't skip the stupid stuff I didn't care about. I could not find a button on my keyboard or mouse that would skip the cutscenes, and I had no desire to watch the cutscenes of like this dumb cop thing.
See, oh man, I had the opposite take on that. Like, I see if you crash doing it again, that would suck. But I found that like it was a pretty refreshing take on the stupid military shooter single player campaign.
Well, I also
thought,
like,
but
there's so many. I don't know. I guess part of me appreciates that it's doing something differently than Battlefield 4. It is not the same game as Battlefield 4, but like some of the mechanics are just feel so on the nose to me. Like you hit G to flash your badge, and that literally freezes enemies.
yeah,
That is
Just like in real life.
It's so stupid. And you can see their visual cones like Metal Gear Solid style.
yeah, you get
Which-
like Batman Arkham Vision in it.
Which, like, I mean, I guess I sort of I don't know how else you implement a mechanic like that if you want it to be kind of a stealthy type of game. It just felt so stupid to see an instruction prompt that says, "Hey,
Yeah.
you can freeze up to 3 bad guys when you
Yeah,
flash
yeah.
your badge." I was like, "This is
Yeah.
so dumb.
Yeah,
Why is this a mechanic?"
It's called
I don't
CC,
know.
Brandon.
It just feels like it feels like such a ham-fisted way to try and
Yeah.
change the gameplay of that game. Which again, like I don't want to. I feel like in a way the Battlefield campaigns and Call of Duty campaigns are kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. Like they tried
Right.
something different, and I don't know. I feel like there had to have been a better way to go about the type of gameplay they were seeking.
I think also just now that you've talked about it that way, like it points out to me how much better, for the most part, and if you look historically, this is the case as well. See, we bitch about games like Wolfenstein: The New Order, like before it came out, we were bitching how it didn't have a multiplayer component. And because that's what we've enjoyed in Wolfenstein games in the past. But then that single player is so good that it's like amazing. And then you have games like Tomb Raider, which clearly focused more on the single player, and it was great. And then they tacked on this sort of shitty multiplayer thing. But then you have games like Call of Duties and your Battlefields out there, which do, they try to shoehorn in this like great, I put this in quotes, great like cinematic single player campaign, but it just turns into military men shooty bits. Like really
like
quickly.
the thing is that I can tell they spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
It is polished. Like, it's what, like 12 episodes or something. It's like, it seems like it's got a lot of content. It's just like I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily good content.
Right.
Like the stuff that I played, I don't know. Maybe I should play more of it and see. But when I was like, I just cannot get over how stupid it felt to like be in this, to try and get yourself immersed into this like serious cop thing, and then you get a prompt over your screen that says you can flash your badge to freeze enemies.
Yeah.
It's like that's so stupid. If that's a core part of the game, like, I don't know, explain it at the beginning or something, but you're breaking the immersion and telling me how I beat this section.
Yeah, that's how there's been a bunch of photoshops. I don't know, you may have seen these blogs, you paid more attention to Bloodborne, of like what Bloodborne would look like if it was made by a major studio. And like it was a Photoshop of like just the Bloodborne UI, but with all these like prompts in the corners and like press square to heal yourself with like like all this stuff on the screen, which From does not do. It tells you nothing. You have to actually seek out the prompts that tell you what buttons do. I didn't even know I had these 2 attacks that I had until like 4 hours into the game. So like they were just like, but here's what it would look like. It would look like Hardline if EA made that game, you know?
Yeah.
Like hold down your R2 to do a visceral, you know? It's, you know, I don't know. I was giving them props for being a little like not taking themselves as seriously with that stuff. But
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like I don't want to crack down on it too hard because I haven't played through the whole thing. So like maybe it does get better.
Probably not.
I just could not get over how absurd it felt to be playing this, and they spell out everything so clearly that it's like it's just not. Like, I don't want to be told that I can flash my badge to freeze them.
I love that Brandon's so caught up on the fly.
I can't get over it.
I am getting that
this
as a
mechanic is so dumb.
Is what just ruined it for you. You're like, I can't.
The fact that you can, I don't know. The fact that it was explained, and then the fact that it's basically like you can sort of play it like a stealth game, where if you come up behind one of these guys, and like the rest of the guys you're not in their visual cone, you can just like take them down and arrest them and no one knows.
Yeah.
It just feels ridiculous. So ridiculous.
You can take a dude down like 10 feet from another dude and he's like yelling at you while you're taking him down.
The other mechanic that just killed me was you can toss a shell casing to get someone's attention.
Yeah.
And lure him away while you take down his friend.
A shell casing?
Yeah.
You toss a shell casing and he's like, oh, what's that? And he walks over to the I couldn't deal with that. Like all of these things that like sure, I get that they're in games and like you use them as a mechanic to take people down or whatever, but when it's just spelled out in front of you, like, oh, here's 2 guys. You can't take down 2 guys at once, but you know what you can do? You can flick a shell casing over there, and this guy's just gonna walk over
like, damn,
and has no idea what's going on, and then you take down both of them and arrest them. That was the other one that really
just like in real life.
Yeah.
So anyway, I haven't played much Hardline, but that was my initial reaction. So I still want to try out the multiplayer because that's obviously going to be a way different experience. But I didn't have anyone to play with, so I haven't tried that out yet. And the only other piece of that is not related to Battlefield, but just in general, I tried playing on NVIDIA Surround because that's the one thing that I feel like a single player Battlefield type game is good for, is like, hey, I've got 3 monitors, like I should just play this with 3 monitors and maybe that's a better experience. NVIDIA Surround is like a horrible mess. I use my 3 monitors in extended desktop mode, and for everything that I do, that's how I want it. I want 3 individual screens, and I want to be able to like full screen one thing on one screen. And like the worst thing about Surround is that it basically treats, from the OS level, it treats it as if you have one massive monitor. And so like whenever you want to open, if you ever try and full screen anything, it'll literally like full screen across 3 monitors. So I never use Surround in my daily life. I just don't use it. And I thought, well, I haven't tried triple screen gaming in like probably over a year. Like I don't even mess with it. But I thought, no, I'll give it a try. I'll see if this has gotten any better. It's just a train wreck. It is terrible. It messed with like the color profiles on my monitors. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't work right at all. And it took me forever to just fix it to get back to extended desktop mode. So yeah, the like dual screen or triple screen gaming with Surround or iFinity, I feel like that stuff has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Because like the GeForce Experience stuff is actually pretty good now, but to actually make this usable, like I want to be able to say, okay, cool, I have my 3 monitors set up exactly how I like them. Let me save this as a profile, and then I'll like figure out my surround stuff, and let me save that as a profile. And then, NVIDIA, how about you let me just like click a button and I switch between them instead of having to go through this like horrific mess of having to like manually reset up my entire monitor setup to go between surround and not surround. So that's just my.
I like it. I like Brandon fired up today.
Yeah. NVIDIA's too busy working on the Shield Android console to do what you need.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that's like a super small segment of their market, but it's just like
so is a fucking Android console. No one gives a shit.
But like those are different teams. I don't have a problem with them working on something unrelated to like their driver stuff, but it just like the thing is that their GeForce experience is such a better experience than like drivers used to be. But this is still, at least for me, it feels like just a huge hole in that offering. Like if you want to play games in surround, which is like the only reason that people should ever even buy SLI cards. Like they try and sell you on, SLI, and you can game on multiple screens and stuff, but it's like what they don't tell you is that is just a terrible experience. Like you never want to leave your monitors in surround because it's just you're going to have all of these weird issues with like stuff spanning across multiple screens that you don't want.
Yeah.
So that's my plea to you, NVIDIA, is if you want me to game on the 3 monitors that I have and maybe like want to upgrade video cards, because that's the only way that I'm going to max out my 970s horsepower, is like you have to make a surround experience that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
All right,
you, Scott.
There we go. All right, and I'll go. Yeah, I've just been playing through Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC again, and kind of it's good timing because obviously 5's coming out here on the 14th. So I'm very excited for that. And I played a little bit of 5, but I never ended up finishing it, so I'll be doing that as well. But having a lot of fun with GTA 4, even though it's, good Lord, the optimization on PC. That thing it's just fucking
I saw
a
you
nightmare.
praying for no crashes.
Yeah, so it hard locked once, and then actually when I turned down, I just turned down shadows, and then since then, for the most part, it's run pretty well. But shadows just destroyed my PC in that game. It was just,
which is insane because you have a pretty good PC.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for how old the game is. It's just so that's been fun, and then just Counter-Strike here and there, and I think that's about it for me. But yeah, obviously looking forward. The 7th, right? We get to preload GTA, so. Should be good. Excited to see. The other thing that's really fun as I'm playing through, because I did San Andreas recently, and now I'm doing 4. Like it's like everything I do in 4 is like Christmas. I'm like, oh, holy fuck, a GPS, an autosave feature. Like all these different things that made some of the older Grand Theft Autos like a little bit frustrating. But then there's also things like all the customization you can do with your character doesn't really exist in Grand Theft Auto 4, and since it was more kind of like, look at this fucking new engine, it's fucking incredible. But so it's kind of cool to kind of see the progression of the series, and so now like I'll be like raving about stuff in 4, like, wow, man, this is so crazy compared to San Andreas, and now I know when I go to 5 on PC, it's just gonna blow my fucking my mind. I won't be able to handle it. But anyway, so having fun with that, and I think that's it. I think just those 2 this week. So.
All right, we're going to take a quick 3-minute commercial break here. If you don't want any commercials on this channel, consider subscribing. It's $4.99 a month, and you get the KBMOD A emote.
Exactly.
Really
I like how that's basically our selling point
selling
right
point, really.
Brandon's face
warped. And the Fenton face. And all.
You're lucky
all
we don't charge you more for it.
Yeah, seriously.
That's right.
You can also check out all the stuff below the stream during the break. Loot Crate, Gunners, all the stuff where you can support KBMOD. Spreadshirt sale starting Tuesday. We'll tweet that out. So 3 minutes, and we'll be right back.
So Brandon, I was going to ask you once again. Dan, you said the mics weren't hot for this section, so right, we're good. Brandon, is there any way? So I know that you can change I heard a rumor that you can change how much subscriptions actually are. So in my subscriber base, is there any way that you'd be able to change it just automatically? People already subscribe $10 a month as opposed to the normal amount. Now, obviously, this would be maybe seen as taking advantage, but if you maybe just do it for 1 month, and we'll see how many people unsubscribe, and then if it's not that bad. I think it could be something I could.
Scott
I
wants
just
to
wanna-
be an event channel all the
Kind
time.
of
That's how good his
slide that
streams
one
are.
in.
I know. I need to be. Yeah, the event channels. That's true. Yeah.
You know, event channels don't have recurring subscriptions usually, right?
Yes, that's true.
I'll definitely take that under advisement. Seriously, yeah, great
All right.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sub to Evo every year, $15.
Hey guys, I just got a kill tack. What's up?
I don't know what
Kill
that
Kill
is.
tack.
Yeah, dude, got a kill tack, dude. In big
Gross.
team, that's 5 kills in a row. Watch out.
You disgust me.
All right, guys. Yeah, you're mad because I forward you, kid.
God.
We have a good discussion in the chat about game mechanics. I like this.
Oh yeah, people are.
I just,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that throwing it in your face stuff, Brandon. I agree with that. I just felt like they tried their damnedest with that Hardline single player to not be like Call of Duty and Battlefield single player campaigns.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm of two minds about it, because like I don't know how they could have. I feel like the people working on that were probably thrust into having to make that game, something.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, yeah, here are some mechanics that work for other games, and we can try and use some of these mechanics. But it's like I don't know. It rubs me a different way than it has in other games.
Yeah.
Like I know other games have mechanics like that, but it just felt so on the nose. It's like, hey, here's a situation. Like this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna toss a shell casing. I don't know. It seems so ridiculous in the context of what that game is.
Also, the person's going to pick up the shell case and be like, that's weird. I'll go about my business now.
Yeah, like
It's the shell casing.
I guess what I was trying to say with the whole comparing Wolfenstein and New Order is I'd rather pay if if it's just gonna be tacked on one way or the other every time. I'd rather they just not even, especially with games like Battlefield, and Call of Duty, although there are fans of those single player campaigns, especially Call of Duty. Like, I'd rather just get, a $60 Wolfenstein the New Order experience or BioShock Infinite experience than I would have them take time away from making that single player or making that multiplayer for that matter. The BF4 multiplayer is still like a broken mess, or a single player, excuse me. Multiplayer is good now, but
It's also bad.
yeah, it is bad. But like,
So there's that.
I mean, the multiplayer in BF4 is great, but maybe they should have just done that and then came out with a game that wasn't a broken mess for 9 months, like, and instead just kind of focused on having that multiplayer work.
No.
No,
No. I'm just going to say no. Gonna give you a big ol' NO on that one.
there's very few games that
negatory
tread the
friend.
territory like Halo, which has perennially had a pretty good single player and then known for its multiplayer as well.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
those-
known with this this Master Chief collection.
Well,
Oh
Definitely
yeah,
known
this is
for
a
its
big multiplayer
now.
hit, man.
But yeah,
Big
traditionally.
multiplayer
Yeah,
hit.
But traditionally, like
traditionally, yeah. It's
like,
true.
but
Yeah, traditionally, yeah.
your Half-Life 2, there is a multiplayer. There's deathmatch, I guess, if you want to put that on
Hey,
there.
deathmatch is great.
It is fun. It's fun to kill a man with a toilet.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Half-Life 2, the single player is fantastic. And like I'm glad they focused on that and just let the multiplayer be modded things like CS and Team Fortress 2 and All right, we are back from commercial break. Some KBMOD updates. First of all, multi-stream now at the request of multiple people in feedback and on the Twitch subreddit, actually. We now have pretty URLs for your multi-streams. So now it's just kbmod.com/multi-stream/channel name/channel name/layout. So it's no longer sort of a mess. You can kind of edit them on the fly really easily now. A lot of you were really pumped about that. We tweeted it out, so now you can you will get nice, pretty uniform URLs for your multi-streams. So make sure.
When are you
check
gonna
that
let me
out.
do like a multi-stream for X Hamster videos?
Damn it.
Well, no,
Daily
it'd be X
Motion?
Hamster, Tube Galore. We could throw in.
Yeah, like
World
let me
Star,
put all of
Live
all
Leak.
the video players, every video player from every website in there.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, get on it. It should be pretty easy. Get to it.
So
Check our
yeah,
Kickstarter. It'll be a rewards here.
Sean updated that. So if you guys use that for that sort of thing, you can now easily change those layouts. Also, the build guides came out this past week on Tuesday. We also did a 1-hour sort of podcast for those, which we haven't done before, but it went pretty well. With Hex, Bob, myself, and Nikon. Nikon upping that production value on that. So go check that out. That is on the website, the March build guides. We go over each guide and parts and part lists and all that. So you can go check that out on there or on YouTube. This week coming up on the channel, GTA week, all week. It's going to be GTA or GTA style games. I'm playing GTA 3 tomorrow night, hopefully. Hopefully it works. So I'm planning on playing GTA 3 tomorrow night. There's going to be stuff like Sleeping Dogs, other GTA games, Just Cause 2, all those kinds of things, Saints Row for the whole week. So leading up, of course, as we mentioned earlier, GTA 5 preload begins on Tuesday for that game, but GTA 5 PC comes out April 14th. So yeah, very, very excited for that. Every trailer they put out, I get a little more pumped for that. So, but that is it for KBMOD news. There was after the cast last week, I think the day after is when this patch actually hit on CSGO. So there was a new CSGO patch. I did not know as much of this post actually on PC Gamer that I put in the document does not really have a lot of the stuff in there.
As the main, the big stuff, but
yeah. So they made it so the AWP when you're scoped in, you move much slower while being scoped. And the other big change was the nerf of the Tech 9, which actually doesn't even seem to have done
quote unquote
too
nerf.
much.
It still has 24 bullets and crazy shit still happens with that gun.
Scott, maybe you can go over these a little more as someone who is.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing right now is everyone's. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's upset about the op changes. I think the more is that the surprise is that they mess with the op, especially kind of because no one is complaining about the AWP. Like, man, that gun's overpowered. It's a high risk, high reward weapon. People people understand that. And so basically the thing is when you're zoomed in, if you're zoomed in and you're moving left to right or whatever, it's extremely slow now, much slower than it was before. And so that makes obviously the peaking advantage for the CTs, right, who are holding spots and choke points and everything. Basically gives you the advantage on the counter terror side compared to so aggressive sniping and being an offensive sniper on the terror side is going to be a little bit more difficult. So I don't know. I still think these are probably going to be fine tuned. Part of me doesn't. I think this is going to, after all this community feedback, they're going to look at it and they might bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
I've been using the op somewhat in quite a few games, and I haven't found it like game breaking or anything. You can get used to it. It's not it's not horrible. So I don't know. But yeah, it was a huge patch overall. Like there was a lot of stuff. Tech 9, 24 bullets. They basically made the damage fall off. So basically, from a distance, you're not going to be. Hopefully, that is what they're hoping, getting those insane headshots and doing insane damage. But it's still, I don't know, man. Everyone's still buying the Tech 9. I don't think. I think it's a little worse than it was, but it's not. It doesn't make the gun it's still the best option. I feel like to buy as a pistol. So that's good. They changed the silenced M4 is $100 more now, which doesn't really make sense overall. I don't because it still only has 20 bullets, and what you're seeing, at least in the pro scene for the most part, is so many people are just switching over to the the one that has 30 bullets, to the unsilenced, and is cheaper. So, but yeah, like a lot of big changes. The MP7 is godlike now. It's just like they did a big buff to the SMGs, which I don't think is a bad thing overall. I mean, you have to probably adjust the price point with it. Is the big thing with that. But I don't mind. I don't mind change. We talk about this. I talk about this all the time. But Counter-Strike players hate fucking change in any capacity. Yeah, and these are some really big. I mean, for the CS community, these are some pretty big changes. So, but I'm fine. I'm fine with more people using. I want weapon variety. I'd like to see the MP7, MP9, MAC-10 more use and stuff like that. And the other big one was that basically Nuke is taken out of the active map pool, and Train has been tweaked, and we'll be seeing Train at basically tournaments and everything like that, which is cool too. I think they're probably going to rework Nuke. Or I don't know if it's already been announced, but I think that's the plan. And I haven't played the new Train yet. I know Sham and some other people have, and Sky Shark. That's pretty big. And the other thing, Sky Shark bringing up tagging is another big thing. And so basically tagging is when you are hit by enemy fire, it slows your movement speed. and obviously there's percentages depending on what the weapons are and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it's kind of I would say the big thing, and I think Thorin talks about it a little bit in this article, but talking about the running and gunning aspect of like when you're trying to face a rush against on a terrorist side, like coming into the B-bomb site, a lot of times you feel like because of like, I don't know, poor tagging, first of all, and then also the hitbox and all that stuff, like terrorists can just zip around and do crazy shit. And it feels like you're, like, even though you're hitting them, there's no consequence. They can still kill you, get out with a couple HP or a couple hit points and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it's kind of balance out the like if you're actually going to hit somebody, you know, you have a better chance of probably killing them first, or at least causing some more damage and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty big. Overall, the patch, I mean, I've probably played like maybe 10 or 15 games on the patch. And
they opened up the skybox on Dust 2 as well. So there's
a lot of skybox like stuff.
Old nades now work that didn't used to work, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge patch. Like you should really go in and if you play the game, go into like the details and look at everything, because it doesn't talk about everything in this article, but it just kind of talks about some of the main things. But I think overall, like I think the net result of the patch, I think there's a lot of good stuff in it. I think there'll probably be some more tweaking. But even with the AWP stuff or the op stuff being some people being really vocal about it and really frustrated, I think people will just adapt like they do. Yeah. No matter what, even if it isn't changed. But
Valve was in the tough spot of changing weapons just enough to where you hit the right balance. Like the Tech 9, you know, was overpowered, but it's like you don't want to make it completely unusable. So it's like changing the weapon fall off and then reducing its clip size to 24. Like that's a huge nerf from where it was.
Yep.
And if it's still ridiculous, then they can nerf it more. But like you don't want to turn the Tech 9 into something that no one ever uses now just because it's overpowered today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they've done. The CZ sees you still, but
it is depending on the player, but not as much. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for, and I actually think I think in this game compared to Source and even 1.6, I mean, to me, I would have to see the stats, but I don't think there's any question about weapon variety in this game compared to other. You know, you see people use shotguns, the Mag 7, even you'll see Novas on equal rounds.
CS:GO has way more weapon variety than any other Counter-Strike ever has.
So much more, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even know what half the guns were in Source because all you did was.
It's not even close.
Yeah. So and then you know obviously all the different so many viable pistols and the 5.7 and the P250, and obviously the Tech 9 and the CZ, which is still, even though the CZ has been like nerfed to hell compared to what it was, it's still really viable and can be deadly if used in the right hands. So yeah, big patch.
CS:GO stuff. Now a little bit more of a serious note. A school district in the UK says that if it sees or hears of kids, and I think the age they're talking about here is like 8 to 12 probably. I would guess this isn't targeted at teens more as much, even though technically the same thing, has basically said they will call social services or the police if they hear of a kid playing a game rated mature, such as Call of Duty is actually rated mature, as well as Battlefield, and there are a few games that they kind of Grand Theft Auto, and basically my whole reaction was, on one hand, there's a fine line to walk here, and like I get that maybe an 8-year-old shouldn't be looking at Grand Theft Auto, okay? Like I understand that as someone with 2 kids, but like I wouldn't let my kid play Grand Theft Auto or I especially wouldn't let a kid that age play Call of Duty online. I mean, are you serious? With those people talking and chatting and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like there's a big difference. Like I played Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls. I play and my son watches me and I answer any questions he has.
Yeah.
And does he ever ask why the praying wolf boss won't shut the fuck up? That's the most annoying boss. Every 2 seconds, it's like, ooh! I'm like, my neighbors are gonna kill me.
Oh, in Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he hasn't seen Bloodborne yet. I actually don't know if I'd let him watch Bloodborne.
Did you not just say Bloodborne?
No, I said Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My PlayStation 4 isn't upstairs on the main TV, so. But like, I wouldn't let him watch that if I felt like just like, the killing of enemies in that game. Granted, there isn't a ton of blood or anything in Dark Souls, and they kind of just disappear when you kill them. But like, I don't think, that game obviously wouldn't be sold to him. But I think this is taking it a little too far. Now, there were some examples in here, and the article on Eurogamer is actually written by a teacher saying like why this is like something they should watch out for. Yes, you should educate parents, because oftentimes, obviously, I'm a big exception and a little different as a parent than someone who doesn't know anything about video games that are out today. Like, I certainly have friends who would probably have no idea what the content is in
I would say that's a majority.
Call of Duty,
parents.
but you can't just say because a kid mentions that he plays Call of Duty in school and maybe he's 10 or 11 that you're now going to call.
That's a pretty big step.
Like,
I think I could take this more seriously if this didn't look like a joke letter. Like,
the letter itself does look like a joke.
It is. This is like one of the worst pieces of writing I've ever seen. And
Brandon.
I could take it more seriously if like it actually appeared well researched. But they say the games they describe are Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Dogs of War.
Is that a game?
What?
That's not a game.
Oh,
What is Dogs of War?
That's not a game.
Do they
I don't
mean
know
God
if
of
they
War?
mean.
Yeah, do they mean
They mean God of War.
They do mean God of War. By the
Like,
way,
just
if you
everything
read
in here.
if you read the section below that's by the teacher, he is a lot more
Sure,
more level-headed than this letter, of course.
But that's the problem, isn't it? Is that like when you have a letter like this that is like, I guess what was sent to the teachers, no one's going to take it seriously.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
You have to have a level-headed approach here for people to take it seriously. And when you say something like, if we hear that your kid is playing an 18+ game, we'll call Child Protective Services, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
That is like the extreme end of this dialogue. That is the whole problem. Like, you can't talk about this in a moderate setting.
Yeah, it's like,
true.
and that's what tends to be the reaction to this type of stuff. It's just like whenever there's a shooting, we all of a sudden have to go blame, he played Doom, or he played, whatever it is. And like, as a parent, like, I certainly, if Grand Theft Auto 5, for instance, I won't be playing that with my son watching. Like, I just won't. Like, but even like a Just Cause 2, which is violent as all, I'll get out. I would let him sit and watch that with me. Because it's all like ridiculous, But
you can also like in games like that, you can just like drive around. You don't have to be shooting people or whatever.
Right.
Like there are ways you can let them watch that are not necessarily inappropriate for their age.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like this kind of stuff, it's just not. Like, there are so many people that you're not going to reach the right people with stuff like this. Because like there are parents that homeschool their kids. It's like you're never going to be able to stop someone, like a parent, from letting their kid that's homeschooled have access to all these games. And if they're just as much of like a threat to society as these kids are.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't take it seriously when it's presented in this context.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a bit overstepping too. You can't say that. Like,
If I can, let me just read
Yeah,
a sentence here. Yeah. If your child is allowed to have inappropriate access to any game or associated product that is designated 18+, we are advised to contact the police and Children's Social Care as it is neglectful.
like
That what does that even mean? What is inappropriate access? And you're going to contact the police. This is not an issue for the police to be involved with.
Yeah, the police don't want to be called for.
You're
for
blowing it so far out of proportion that it's like this could be an insightful memo about like, hey, here's something we've noticed. Like, here's a thing that seems to be a problem. Like, you should know that these games that your kids might be playing like can have effects that you don't necessarily recognize. That could be helpful, but this is not helpful. if you give your child access to these games, if your kid ever says the word Call of Duty, we're going to call social care. That's not helpful.
Yeah. So I mean, and there is a fine line, like, but you can't, as a school district, you don't know what that line is. And you don't, if people are letting their kids just game and that's their babysitter, like that's a whole other, that's a whole other problem that you need to take care of. But
yeah,
it's
also it's like the two sides though. It's the same thing with Brandon saying. Like this is the far end of the side of like, man, yeah, it should be a crime to let a kid play a game that is rated above what they are. And then there's the other side where it's like, yeah, man, you should let kids play anything they want, and that's also not. Like that depends on the parent, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. Some kids are more mature, other
well,
how
those
you
are just
present it.
shitty parents.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
fucking exactly. Because there's another example in here of a kid who watches Let's Plays on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine, whatever. If your kid is like 7, 8, 9 years old, and you aren't actively parenting them,
right? Well, yeah.
Then that is your problem. That
Yeah,
is not the
exactly.
school district's problem. That is. You need to think, if your kid is sitting there watching a Resident Evil playthrough when he's 7 and he can't go to sleep at night because he's scared to death.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should not let him watch that Let's Play.
Yeah.
Like,
what I think? I think
As a child, I am interested in what you think about this.
Yes.
I think the
Let's
way
get
we
your
fix
perspective.
this is so I'm going to be the only judge of what games are okay and not okay.
okay.
And it's not based on the content of the video game. I'm just going to say, are you letting your kid play a shit game? Because
Oh God.
you and your child are going to prison. And a lot of motherfuckers are about to get 25 to life real quick. Real fucking quick.
Just based
Real
on
quick.
the game,
But-
if it's a shit game or not.
What is my kid? Timmy, what are you shoveling up? Get in that cell right now.
Also, if the kid is
You little nerd, you're a little nerd kid, go to jail.
if you are letting, like, your kid is, if your kid is 10, he's probably not buying video games unless you're being a bad parent, just giving him tons of money. Games are not cheap. And it's an 18 plus game. Most likely the place isn't going to sell it to him anyway. So you bought it, therefore you know what's in it.
Well, you should.
Well, you should.
Yeah, but
You should know, maybe I shouldn't let my 8-year-old kill hookers in GTA. It's
probably gonna be. But then again, there's 8-year-olds that will kill hookers in GTA and just understand that it is totally separate from reality. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Sham's been talking about that he was playing GTA when he was 7 or whatever, and Sham turned out to be fine. I mean, at least I haven't found anybody's yet.
I
don't
played
know.
Doom when I was 9.
Yeah, I don't think we should assume Sham is okay.
I don't know that
Sham
Sham
is
is
fine,
fine, but he hasn't murdered anyone.
That we know of for sure.
Yeah, we don't have any evidence, but
Yeah, but it
I mean,
really
I think
is dependent on
this
a lot
is
of
like
factors.
you shouldn't give your sub 10-year-old child like an unrestricted Xbox account. You know,
right.
like you shouldn't just
Or-
like it doesn't even necessarily matter that if you were letting them play games that are outside of their age group, like you shouldn't be exposing them to unrestricted access to all of these people on the internet. That's like maybe the larger issue there is like just maybe you should supervise what they're doing.
It's yet another, it's yet another thing of where parents don't want to parent. They want something to do parenting for them.
Exactly.
Because they just don't want to do it. So tell me what I should let him consume. Well, maybe just take an active role for 2 seconds.
And I mean, the thing
not
is,
gonna
I
happen.
think the way that you can approach this problem is like in your parent-teacher conference, like make the teachers aware that this is a thing. That if the kid is talking about Call of Duty and stuff, maybe in your parent-teacher conference, you bring it up and you say like, hey, we've also I've heard him talking about Call of Duty in his class with his friends. Like I just wanted to make sure you're aware that that's like an 18+ game. If that's fine with
That's a good
if
way
you're
to
okay
approach it.
if you're okay with him playing it, that's fine. But I just want to let you know that the school district sent out a memo recently that like this kind of stuff.
Brandon,
can have problem with.
But you're
I don't know.
you're being rational. You're being moderate. This doesn't. Come on. This does not fit with the rhetoric of the world, Brandon. See, that's the problem.
I know.
You know,
I think
that's
you
just
mean,
not how it works.
Redicate.
God damn it. Okay,
You know, I think it's bullshit that parents think that they can be judgmental towards me because my kid at the age of 6 already has a fucking Scuff sponsorship. He's fucking playing Call of Duty. Yeah, he's fucking fragging like a pro. Yeah, just because my kid is winning 10K tournaments, like
You
he's
expect him
fucking
to get
bringing
on
in
a team
checks,
unless he
dude.
starts early.
Yeah, how do you?
Like,
Yeah.
you're not making money on fucking E-rated games, dude. It's fucking teeing up. Like sure, yeah, you're playing amateur games, you know. You're fucking, doing little frags. I'm doing big frags. I'm fucking giving the back, baby. Taylor T squared.
God damn it!
That's my baby's name, T2. I named my baby T2. Whatever.
All right. Anyone with last words on this before we move on?
If you want people to take you seriously, like have something that looks serious.
Yeah, don't write a fucking retarded letter like that.
Do some research.
Don't make it look like an 8-year-old wrote it.
Yeah.
So, Steam is now releasing a non-gaming related documentary on it, which sort of signals, I hope they don't go all
The beginning of the end, boys.
The beginning of an iTunes-esque
Yeah.
type service. It started with the software a little bit, although iTunes doesn't do software, but just non-gaming related things on Steam.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I'll be worried about is when Steam is as shitty as iTunes is.
Right. If it's actually a good way to purchase and rent stuff and all that, yeah, then fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, who cares?
I hope Steam gets bought by Tidal.
Oh man, yeah, me too, dude.
Tidal
Those
music,
artists,
dude.
it gets bought by Tidal, and then all the music is Tidal artist on top of every single piece of entertainment on the Steam.
Hey, for $20 a month, lossless audio for your Beats by Dre.
Yes.
Dude.
So I can hit my data on my phone in like one.
Get through like half a song.
Yeah.
But it was a really good half a song in terms of audio quality.
So keep an eye on that.
This is the
Microsoft.
same. This is the same
Go
thing
ahead.
they've already been doing. They just haven't done it very often.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it's fine if they want to sell more stuff like this. The problem they'll end up having is like discoverability. Is once you have a few of these, how do you surface them when you're the main page of Steam? Like people expect that to be games. So I think that's the problem they'll run into.
So a couple more stories here. Open source Windows, Microsoft says, is something that could be possible in the future. That'd be pretty interesting to see Windows packaged like Linux. That would also mean it would be free, completely free in the future. So Microsoft definitely moving in this direction. I hope they do eventually. One of the coolest things about Linux is all the different flavors of Linux that are out there and how you can use them. So Microsoft said that is possible in the future. If you don't know, Windows 10, if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8 right now, you get a free upgrade to Windows 10 in the fall when it comes, or in the summer, I guess, is when it's coming out now. So yeah, hopefully they move in that direction, because nothing sucked more than like doing the build guides. A while ago, I haven't had this question for a long time, but people being like, well, are you factoring in that I have to spend $130 on a copy of Windows for this? And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're not, but that sucks, So, final story Brandon put on here. There is a Halo on PC now.
Yeah, bud.
Jesus.
In Russia,
Yeah.
only.
Of course.
Halo Online.
The game is hilarious. It looks like a bootleg of like a not legit bootleg, but it is.
Yeah. And some modders have made it so that you can get it.
Yeah, I was
in the
gonna
US.
attempt it, but I never got around to it.
And they were promptly given a DMCA shutdown by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Got to keep that Halo off of PC. But if you want to try to find it, I'm sure you can somewhere on the internet. Halo Online. I haven't seen any footage of this.
I've watched some footage. It looks like it runs fine and everything. I've heard it's pretty pay to winish though, but Russians fucking love that anyway. So
Yeah, they do.
do.
fucking
they eat
do.
that shit up.
Eat that shit alive.
It was basically just Microsoft being like, "Hey, World of Tanks looks like it's doing pretty well over there. Let's do that."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. I'd like to see some footage of it. Is anyone streaming it on Twitch?
Ooh, that's a good
I've
question.
I don't think anyone's like playing it.
Yeah, Halo Online.
I didn't even realize it existed until
actual
this
Russian
story.
people to be streaming it pretty much now.
I always think it's funny, like when there are these games that exist just in specific regions that you never hear about.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we heard about this one now, but there are so many games like this that are just completely region.
That was like there on Twitch there was some championship for like it's basically like a counter. It's basically on the Half-Life engine. It's like one of the is it Crossfire or some shit?
Yeah,
Like Crossfire. People like and people in Brazil are like it seems like
massive.
Brazilians love it, and I'm just like
they love it.
what the fuck?
I
It
watched an
looks
entire
so
tournament.
bad.
I watched an entire tournament of it one
too.
time in Portuguese.
Yeah, me too. I think it was on the. I don't know if it was how I found it. It was on the front page or something. I was just like, this is insane. Like, I mean, God bless them that they love it, but
Back on the Halo thing, I think it's hilarious in terms of brand control that after Master Chief Collection, where it was like multiple studios involved and like and then it ended up being a pile of shit. That's like, we put too many studios in here to work on our brand. What should we do? Hand it over to some random Russian place. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. People will love that. Let's not keep it first party. Let's just do some random people. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
So one last thing that I just thought of because I forgot it during the games. I did play the new edition confusing thing, the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin edition, which is like the PS4 and Xbox One and also PC release for Dark Souls 2. You can no longer buy original Dark Souls 2 now on Steam. You have to buy like this version or like a version with the DLC with it. It puts it in DX11, does a bunch of random changes. If you own Dark Souls 2, I don't see a whole lot of point unless you really liked Dark Souls 2. It changes up enemy placement and makes some very, very surprising situations happen that were not in the game before. Some horrifying situations as well. And the durability bug is so bad. So bad. Your weapon will not last half of like an area anymore. It's so shitty. So yeah, it's like I think if you own Dark Souls 2 and all the DLC, the pricing scheme for this is just only the Japanese could come up with this. Only From Software could come up with something so convoluted. So I think it's $30. This is for a second copy, basically, of Dark Souls 2. If you own Dark Souls 2 and all the DLC, and then it's like $40 if you don't own the DLC, but you own Dark Souls 2. And then it's like $50 if you just want to buy the whole thing straight away. So, whatever. And the graphic improvements are not good at all. You can barely tell. If you use the Ghetto Sato mod, which was by the modder Durante, who's done a lot of that stuff, it looks way better than this new version.
Durante?
Yes.
Lil B's Curse of Kevin Durante?
Damn it. Fuck Kevin Durant. As Lil B would say. But that is it for the news. We're going to take the 3-minute commercial break here. If you don't want to see the ads, make sure you subscribe. Get those sweet emotes. We'll be back with viewer questions in 3 minutes. I'm going to have to render this one this week, boys.
What's rendering?
You would know nothing about that.
What is that?
I always wonder when the audio listeners, if Scott doesn't cut that out, they're like, what does it mean? I am subscribed.
Is that what they think to themselves? Yeah.
Probably.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I forgot to put the time on the news too. Whoops.
It's
To
fine.
start it, but
Figure it out.
yeah, dude, is like I tried to play that Dark Souls 2. The rapier I was using, like I had to just bring repair powder with me because it was so bad. It was so bad. My weapon was broken in like 20 minutes, which is not very long.
Yeah.
It's super.
What is it
annoying.
What is it normally?
So the
like,
problem
for
is
normal wear?
that they coded the durability to go with the animation frames that a swing takes of a weapon. So on console, it's fine because it's 30 FPS. So the durability lasts twice as long at 30 FPS than it does at 60. And this has been a problem from day one with Dark Souls 2. And they made an entirely new version of the game and didn't fix it. So apparently they said they're working on it. Like one of the big draws, obviously, PC is that's a 60 FPS game. And yeah, just it's so bad. I feel like it's worse in Scholar of the First Sin 2 than it was in the original Dark Souls 2. Like it's so, and it's hard coded in there. It's like related to the FPS. So like there's nothing you can do like to get around it. So yeah. But I just think it's such a cash grabby thing. It's really scummy in the end. Basically you're buying the same game again. But, you know, just kind of sucks.
Anybody watch Naruto this week?
Oh my god.
Missed it, actually.
You missed
The new episode?
Yeah, just barely didn't make it.
All right. Is this the portion of the podcast where we talk about Toonami?
Is Naruto on Toonami nowadays?
Is it?
Because I know they brought Toonami back.
Wait, did they?
Yeah, for a little while. I don't know if it's still around, but
That sounds awesome.
they brought it back for a little bit, and everybody was like super psyched because Toonami,
Because Toonami.
right?
God.
Wouldn't you be?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you not watch Toonami when you were younger?
I don't know what that is. No.
No, I was too busy watching Punani.
Ah, yes.
Boy.
Toonami was like everybody's first experience with anime because
Pretty much, yeah.
It was like what Dragon Ball Z was on during the day.
All right.
I've
Viewer
never watched a
questions
full
time.
episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Viewer questions time. I'm just putting that timestamp in there. All right. First question. Jared M. writes in, you are in a Home Alone type situation in which John Cena and Randy Orton have broken into your house in an attempt to steal all your Baja Blast. Things have already started off in a bad place. You have at your disposal a waffle maker, waffle mix included, interesting to put that in there, a vape pen, the Great American Challenge, spelled incorrectly, a life-size
That's a challenge.
yeah, the Great
The
American
Great
Challenge.
American Collage.
And a life-size cardboard cutout of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and of course several packs of Baja Blast. How do you stop the invading wrestlers?
Can I just comment that seems like they're breaking into your house. They're going to commit a B&E just to steal Baja Blast.
Yeah,
These guys may
that
have-
seems really
I'm just
high
gonna
risk.
go with my answer is I'm gonna be like, guys, like, we can fucking share this Baja Blast.
Also, they have millions
John
of dollars.
Cena and Randy Orton. Like, I'm not gonna
What do
not
you-
share Baja Blast with them.
That's a story
Plus-
too.
Plus, how do
Like,
you
I'm gonna, like-
possibly hope to stop them?
Yeah, I'm not gonna
They
do
are
it.
fucking huge.
That's some huge fucking dudes. Yeah.
That's some
Yeah,
huge
what
dudes.
world would I be like? I'd be like, get the fuck away from my house, John Cena and Randy Orton. Don't fucking come over here.
See, you would
Like,
have.
why do they even want to steal it? These guys are wrestlers. They have to stay
Yeah.
in shape. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like they're going to just chug Baja Blast.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to you, but if you still have Baja Blast from the summer, it's expired now.
Well, I don't think it really expires per se.
If
I
you-
think it
like,
does.
You
I-
think it does?
I had
soda
a
doesn't work
case
that
of Baja
way.
Blast. I had it in my house like for a long time, and it was expired. It said it was like 2 months past its sell-by date.
Yeah, you know why they put that on there? So that you throw it out and get new ones.
I feel like pop doesn't go bad for several years.
Yeah, I would assume it
Especially
would
not
be
when
at
you
least
pop pop.
fine.
All right, dude. We're not
It is
doing
pop.
this argument
It's
again.
fucking pop.
Don't start with the pop thing. Can we stop? Why are we doing this, guys? You know this is a trigger to like everybody here.
Scott, as a connoisseur of many sodas,
Yes,
does soda, when you buy it in a can, does soda expire?
yes, it can expire in a can.
It can, but it's, like, really-
what is the timeline? Though?
What is the timeline? I think it's like
Years.
I think
It's
it's no.
like
I don't think
years.
it's super.
It
I
doesn't
think it's
matter
a
what the
couple
date
years.
says. It's years, dude.
It's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
years.
Are you talking about like
No,
what it
it's-
actually says or what happens?
It's a couple months for
Um,
Baja Blast at least.
See, I feel
It
like
doesn't
they're
fucking
just
matter.
lying
Baja
to you.
Blast ain't gonna last that long, motherfucker.
I think I would say
No,
yeah.
it's-
I remember looking this up once and thinking that it was a lot shorter than I thought it was for soda to go bad. To be honest.
I
Yeah.
think that
I don't think it takes.
I think in a 2 liter it's going to go bad faster, Especially like, but in a can, cans are meant to last for a really long time.
I think it's like some foods, even like canned foods, even they can be fine past the expiration date. Because I don't know, like I mean, it's a.
Well, are we talking about like is it gonna kill you? It probably just no.
Yeah.
Probably just,
No,
it's
probably
not gonna kill
not.
you. It'll just be flat or it'll taste
feel a
bad
little,
or just
unwell.
Chad is killing me right now. I think, I agree with Nick. I think you sit down and you have a Baja Blast with John Cena and Randy Orton, and then
So
you
why
have
you-
a story to tell that John Cena and Randy Orton broke into my house just to share Baja Blast with me.
That's how good it is.
Yeah.
Now we're friends.
Now we're friends. Now we hang out all
Well,
the
it
time.
says that you have a waffle maker, which by itself is not useful, but it specifically says waffle mix included. You have a vape pen, just, offer them to come in, have a vape, and have some waffles.
Have a vape.
Waffle.
Have a vape.
Brandon, when I come over to your
vape
place,
and a
I expect
waffle.
you to give me a vaporizer immediately.
And they'll know you're a wrestling fan. You have a life-size cardboard cutout of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Well, if that was
Obviously.
my place, I'd be like, how the fuck did this cardboard cutout of Dwayne The Rock Johnson get here? I never bought this. I never wanted this. Actually, maybe I do want
You
one.
do want one, yeah.
You absolutely
That's
do.
the final
Only
answer.
if he's the Scorpion King or the Tooth Fairy.
Now the question is it life-sized like your life-sized or life-sized like the size he is? Because
The
that wouldn't even
size
fit
he
in my
is.
apartment.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's like 6'5".
I would need to buy a separate garage for that.
Mountain Dew will dissolve a mouse in 3 days. The more you know.
Oh God. I don't want. Yeah. Don't think about that. The acidity.
All right.
Ugh.
Next question, and it's a food question, so you know
Of
where
course.
to do it.
Nice.
At Bozzy _ asks if you had to remove one meat, and he gives the example of like pig products that come from a pig, or one vegetable from your diet for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think we
Well,
should answer this as one meat and one vegetable.
Yeah, obviously, if I'm getting the choice, I'm removing a fucking vegetable. Not that, like,
Yeah, it's,
obviously.
it's too easy too because there are a bunch of like obscure vegetables that you don't like.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
No, but I think he's
Squash.
saying one's-
I don't like. Who
one's-
likes squash?
I'm getting the
gross.
impression
Yeah,
that he's
squash is
saying
weak.
that you eat regularly or at least consume. Like, not you can't do some cop out like, oh, dude, I wouldn't eat fucking seaweed or some shit if you don't eat
Yes.
seaweed very often.
Right.
Like, that doesn't count.
Well,
So it has
yeah,
to be-
same with the meat. It can't be like, oh, I
Yeah.
wouldn't eat kangaroo anymore.
Yeah,
But I
it needs
never
to be.
fucking ate kangaroo.
Fuck. One meat.
See, I want to say pork here because in general, like mine is bacon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not
you don't
eating-
eat it that often.
I think
Are you
turkey is
kidding
weak
me?
as
I have
shit.
pork
I
all
think
the time.
turkey is.
See,
The weak-
I was gonna
it's a
say
weak
turkey
I,
too,
I,
but
I love turkey. Turkey's
I
a
fuck
go-to
with
for
turkey.
healthy stuff.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
fuck with turkey first. Turkey
Nah,
sandwiches.
chicken. Just go with chicken. Don't be a
Like
bitch.
I would hate to do it. But if we're talking, can we all agree that there's like 4 prime prevalent meats? It's beef, pork, chicken, and turkey, right? Is there anything I'm missing
Yeah.
that's like pretty
say
much
that.
always present?
Yeah, because there's so many forms of beef and pork as well. So yeah,
Right.
that works.
I'm actually gonna have to give that one to beef, mostly because of health reasons.
Really?
Because like
You're
if you
gonna
give
remove
up pork,
beef? Are you
it's-
kidding me?
it's between beef and pork actually,
Wow.
because
Alright.
because
Alright.
I don't
obviously
think you realize how many things you eat that actually qualify.
no, I
as-
absolutely realize.
Man.
I absolutely realize. You know what? I think chicken might be a better answer because like even though I eat a lot of chicken, I almost always prefer turkey.
Wow, that's just not right.
I think I'm going.
I like turkey though too.
I'd get
but-
rid of chicken in this scenario.
I think yeah. You know what? Now that I
Oh,
thought
no.
about it a little bit, I'm gonna
chicken.
give it to chicken because like if you get rid of beef, that's hamburgers, that's
Yeah,
steak,
exactly.
Oh,
that's steak, that's like there's a
I'm not
lot.
getting rid of chicken nuggets. So it's not
Yeah, those are.
Like
It's not
I,
happening.
I
Does
can
that
live
even
without
qualify
fried
as
chicken. The one
You
thing
can
that
get
chicken,
real chicken.
different.
ones.
Yeah, there's different kinds of chicken
the
nuggets.
one thing that chicken can really do that turkey can't is fried. So like fried turkey
Yeah.
is like it's
Fried turkey's
you can
beast.
you can do it, but it's not the same. But
I feel
I don't
like
really
even
eat
turkey,
fried food
like
much.
I don't really have turkey that often, but I also whenever I have like I usually don't have chicken as a first choice. It's usually like I'll have something beef or pork, but if they don't have that or whatever, like chicken is fine. I
Let
don't
me put
mind
it to you
chicken.
this way: everything turkey can do, chicken can do better and
Yeah.
does better. everything.
I'll
Flavor,
agree with that.
obviously,
I'll
it's
agree
not
with
as healthy for you, but flavorful. Like, I mean, if I'm given the option, I would much rather have a big fucking chicken for Thanksgiving than a turkey. To be honest, I
I think
love.
you're insane there.
I
but
in terms
you
of
know how big a
holiday
chicken is?
meat,
It's
I would
not
just
that
go with
big.
ham. I'd just go with ham every
Yeah.
time over
No,
turkey.
I like ham too.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Like I don't care. It could be Thanksgiving.
I
would
will
still
eat
prefer
turkey,
ham
too.
over turkey.
I will eat turkey. I'm not and I like turkey sandwiches, but it's not. I don't know. For me, chicken is still flavor wise. Chicken wins.
I feel
But-
like you could cop out and say something like duck. Like I don't
Yeah.
really care
Or
for
when
duck.
people are
not
saying
really
fish. Are we
common.
not counting? No one brought up fish, but
Nah.
doesn't
I
really
consider
count.
fish
As a-
separate.
just
Like
a
I would
separate-
definitely cut
it's not
out
really
fish, even though that would mean no more sushi, and that would make me very sad.
Nah, just get a California roll.
I want to point out that someone in chat said that I think someone said Smart Kid said he loves seaweed. Like, go. How many people here actively
My wife,
enjoy seaweed?
my wife just eats seaweed.
Yeah, she eats the.
Does she
fucking,
get the chips?
Oh, it's so gross. It makes me
Oh, they're
gag to even
gross.
look at
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it's terrible.
It
It
tastes like I
get
just.
it, dude.
It
licked
tastes like the
bottom of
ocean. It's the ocean.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's not.
So
not a
what
good taste.
vegetable would you remove then?
Fuck seaweed.
What vegetable?
If
When
this
I
is in the same vein.
When I was a kid, it would have been like Brussels sprouts, but I fucking love them now. So
Celery.
celery is a
sucks
shit tier
dick.
vegetable.
And
Yeah.
it's common.
Celery is-
You can't even claim that that's like an obscure vegetable.
No,
Celery
you're
is
right.
present,
Celery.
and it's constant, and it's always in my tuna salad, and fuck it.
Okay, see, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say the only thing that it offers texture, basically. That's it. And I was
Well,
gonna say the only
well-
thing I'll allow it for is I do.
There's no
I like-
nutritional value in celery.
There's
either.
no nutritional
It's
value.
texture and it's like bitter, which is
It
not
tastes
like,
like it tastes like fresh cut grass smells. It's got like this grassy kind, like it's just gross. I can taste the celery permeates through everything it's in. So like I can't. I only because I hate celery so much. I taste it and like yes, it adds a nice crunch to tuna
Yeah.
salad, but then I fucking taste the celery.
You
and I'm
actually
just like,
taste it? I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's-
I'm
and then
good
it's
with-
all I taste because my aversion to it is so strong.
You know what's good? Putting sometimes carrots in tuna salad. Believe it or not, it works pretty good. And
It's
I
okay.
like the taste
It's
of
okay.
carrots.
I've tried it. I do like carrots, but in tuna salad, I don't know. I don't think the flavors go well together personally.
Okay. But
I
I'm good with celery.
I hope Megan's listening because you know what I would get rid of? Beets. Beets are fucking
Ooh,
terrible.
I'm not a
Beets are
beet fan
terrible.
either.
Fucking
I'm not a beet fan.
terrible.
I feel like there's so many vegetables that are easy to say, yeah, I'd get rid of that vegetable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're looking at like the 4 prime meats,
It's
Yeah,
more.
it's
I
more
think
like
a harder
elements.
question is like, what is your favorite vegetable? Because I don't really
No.
love that many vegetables.
potatoes, carrots, and what else is good?
I love onions.
Onions,
I love-
obviously, onions are like the
Used to
most
love
flavorful fucking.
I'm gonna go with Brussels sprouts, man. These days.
I'd go
All-
with
all
mushroom
really
salad.
Asparagus is good.
I don't like
Broccoli is
Brussels
great.
I make some bomb ass onion soup. Just
How dare
oh,
you bring
man.
cauliflower into this? Who hates cauliflower? That's not even like
Cauliflower
high up on the
sucks.
list.
Cauliflower is shitty cracker ass broccoli. That's all it is.
No,
you
man.
cle-
No,
clearly
it has a
never
different
had
texture. It has
cauliflower
a
and
different
cheese.
texture.
Yeah, cauliflower with cheese, man. Even though you put
Nah,
also
I-
cauliflower
Crack
dipped in a
ass.
nice ranch. Damn, man, I fuck with it. I like
Yo,
broccoli too.
Yo,
Buffalo
asparagus is
style
delicious.
Cauliflower, it's so good.
Grilled asparagus
What is
fantastic.
avocado? Is avocado a fruit?
That's a
think it's-
vegetable.
Vegetable, I think.
It's one of those. Tomatoes are a fruit, not a vegetable. So there's
Could be.
those crossover ones.
Avocado.
Avocado is delicious.
All right. Next question. Did 3 food questions in a row here. This is gonna be
Oh
rough.
shit.
Griffin Rampant 1 asks via email, what company makes the best Easter candy?
Reese's.
Cadbury.
Ooh, I
Cadbury, yeah.
Can't
pretty much.
fucking get
Yeah,
in the
cream.
U.S.
The eggs,
anymore.
everything. Yeah.
Can't get the eggs anymore. Even
It's true.
they stopped importing them. So
What happened? Did they just downsize massively, or they weren't selling them, or what happened? Why did
they had
Cadbury
an
pull out?
agreement, I think, with some American company
Oh.
to do it, and the American company wouldn't re-up or something on it
Wow.
this year. So
What
no,
the
It's a tough
fuck?
choice between
Like these are
I
the
don't-
political issues that I care about. Like if the
Yeah.
president ran on a platform like we're bringing Cadbury back to
Yeah.
the United States, like I'd
Instant
vote. I don't give a
vote.
shit. Everything else is bullshit. Nothing's gonna get done. This fuck, you know what I mean? But that if he could actually promise that, I would vote for him.
All right,
Yeah.
kiddies, gather around. I'm going to tell you. It's Uncle Maurice. I'm going to tell you about a great candy maker that you little kids probably never heard of. It's called Necco. Necco makes the best candy products. That's my favorite. Necco. They make
Necco?
great
Necco
great
wafers. That's what
Wafers.
I'm talking about.
Ah, yeah.
Delicious.
That is an old people thing too. He is right.
They're fucking
pretty
gross. It's
Yeah,
do you
they're
like
not-
chalk?
Yeah, they're not good.
Do you like
look-
chalk? Yeah.
Do you like semi-sweet chalk? Because that's what Nectar wafers are.
Thank you for calling out Peeps. They're fucking gross. Peeps are
Peeps
disgusting.
Peeps are not like I always get excited
Gross.
for them. I feel like I've been hypnotized because I get excited when I see Peeps and then I eat them. I'm like, wait, these aren't good. Like
No one actually likes
takes me by
Peeps. They're
surprise.
just they're there because they're like decorative.
They're there to put in the microwave and then you throw them in the garbage after they've blown
I
up.
like Peeps.
No, you
Peeps
don't.
are just like I'd rather just eat a fucking marshmallow, just a plain ass marshmallow.
Yeah, same.
That
Thing
but
is, like Reese's,
Like-
I don't necessarily eat all the time, but they're special holiday ones where they have a ton of peanut butter on the inside and not as much chocolate. Like
Yeah.
that's I'm all about that.
we talked
I
about
love
this
when
earlier.
chat
Be a
gets
Christmas
into
tree
this
and
shit.
eggs.
Yeah.
It's great.
You know, like whenever we talk about food, like the fucks come out, like "fuck you, dude." You have no like the chat really goes off. That's what that's what I love.
Oh yeah.
People get
I
real
love
upset.
Peeps are 1984's candy of the year.
God, shit candy. No,
31
shit
years
candy.
ago.
That's when they were relevant. Ever
Yeah,
since
right.
we've had some good shit come out, man.
This
Take
just-
5,
Yeah.
This next,
crispy M&Ms.
this next question, crispy M&Ms are fucking good. This
They're
next
back.
question has some interesting takes you can put on it. Duck Packer, he actually asked this in chat, and it was so good that I kept it in. If you could not gain weight for a whole week,
Yeah.
what would you eat for that week?
I would live in a Taco Bell.
If you could not.
That
gain
is
weight-
like a really good answer.
yeah.
I would
Cinnabon.
not leave
I-
Taco Bell.
I'm taking this to mean that like there's no consequences for what
Right,
is
you can eat.
happening.
Yeah, nothing bad will happen to you. Fuck, man.
It's tough because you go with like food that you can't. Because
I
I'm
would-
assuming
you
you're
couldn't
still
eat every
paying
day.
for this. I don't know.
I
but-
would eat a shitload of Cinnabon and waffles.
God.
Just
Oh,
like big
man.
ass
Yeah.
Belgian waffles, like topped with Cinnabons. And then I would probably eat just like fucking all of the bacon I possibly could. Maybe on top of all of that. I might make that into a giant, disgusting pile and just consume it.
Yeah.
I'd probably live at like between Cinnabon and Fuddruckers.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Just big ass cinnamon buns and then a big
wash
ass
it down
burger.
with a nice burger every day.
Yeah.
3 meals
I
a day.
wash that down with a shake.
Yeah.
I'd be waterboarding myself under the Pepsi Freestyle.
Yeah, Taco Bell's a good answer for me too. I probably would do Taco Bell.
See, for me, I would have to switch it up. Like there isn't.
That's
like,
that's the other thing. Yeah,
like
that's the other thing,
I would
is
switch
get
it up.
old.
It would all be shit that was terrible for me. Of course, like
Yeah.
I just called it a Pepsi Freestyle, and it's
you
a Coke.
did. It's definitely a
Yeah,
Coke
I was gonna
freestyle.
say
Sorry,
Coke
but the
Freestyle is a good call.
Pepsi has a version of it, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, here we go with
Which
the
is
Pepsi
the
hate.
wait? Who owns Doctor Pibb or Mr. Pibb or whatever? Is he a doctor? I don't fucking care.
I think
Nobody will
RC is
actually
it
admit
RC
to owning
Cola?
it.
No, I think it's Coke. I think it's Coke.
They really own it.
I want to say
Is Dr Pepper owned just a separate company altogether, or is that Pepsi?
Dr.
I don't even-
Pepper
Yeah,
is
it's
a
owned
separate
by
company?
Coke.
Mr.
It is
Pibb
owned
is
by
Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Pepper's a separate company.
Separate
Like-
company altogether.
I think you got to throw Auntie Anne's pretzels into this mix as well.
No.
Dude, I love.
Oh, I know your
love-
hatred of Auntie Anne's.
Yeah,
but
I don't know why he hates
their
Annie's.
pretzels
I
are
love it.
godlike, dude.
I love it, dude. A nice,
I wouldn't say
a nice sour
godlike.
cream and onion pretzel.
Have you noticed there's a pattern to me not liking certain like chains? It's anybody who
Yeah.
uses a fuckload of butter. I don't
yeah, they
like
do use
I
a lot of
don't
butter.
like overly buttered things.
Hmm.
I'm not that big a butter guy. Like
Yeah.
I actually prefer like olive oil based like butter imitation. I'm fucked up with butter. I don't like butter. And Annie Ann's is basically like here's a pretzel made of shitty dough. I think it might actually be like pancake batter, which is not what you make a pretzel out
Oh,
of.
you are so wrong about Annie.
And then
What
they
are you
just dip
talking
it-
about?
They dip it in a
You're just like
fucking
ruining
barrel
your
of
credibility.
butter, and then they fry that, and then they take that and they slather
By the
that
way-
in butter, and then they cover that in some kind of butter-based
I
dip.
don't know what pretzel you're getting, but I don't.
That's
I don't
Annie's, dude. It's
really.
disgusting.
I never have that problem with them. I get, dude. Every time, like when I travel, because I don't get Annie Ann's like ever, because I'm not on the East Coast anymore. But and I don't know, do they have them on the West Coast at all? I don't
I
think
don't know.
they
They're
do.
only in
Who
malls.
cares?
They're only in malls.
Or they're only in
I've
malls or
never
whatever.
seen
But every
them.
time I'm in an airport that has one, boy, you better believe I'm getting a sour cream and onion pretzel or whatever. Like I love it. I would. Hell yeah.
I think all the answers are good. You know, Taco Bell is a great.
I mean, this is like a
Steak.
weird answer, but I would if you go to like a state fair and get fried Oreos, fried Snickers, like if somehow you could combine that week with when the state fair was in town,
Live at the
you
state
would
fair
you
and
would
just
go
gorge.
nuts.
Yeah.
Macaroni on a stick.
Cotton candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had
Actually, like
the
some of
corn
these make
dogs
me
you could
sick
have.
thinking about it, even though I'm like, yeah, that'd be delicious. Like Taco Bell, like just annihilating pounds of Taco Bell. And I'm like, oh, that sounds.
Can it also be combined with a fantasy where you never get full?
Yeah, I think I was
that's
taking
true.
that into it, sort of.
I was just taking it as you just didn't gain
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, but
But
I
you
was
ate
saying
more.
no health consequences was mine.
Yeah.
I was taking.
Oh yeah, if that, like if there were health consequences, I'd have diabetes within like 3 hours.
Yeah, it'd
Just
be
think
over.
think about like the corn dog to fried Oreo to milkshake trifecta.
Oh my god, fried Oreos, fried Twinkies, fried everything.
Fried everything. I would fry my dog. Everything that can be fried would be fried.
Funnel cake, oh,
Did
so
it
good.
help?
Oh,
Elephant
funnel
ear.
cake is so good.
God damn.
Fucking funnel
Funnel
cake.
cake is fucking out of here, man. It's so good.
Some mini donuts, classic.
Yeah.
Funnel cake. Have you ever seen them make funnel cake? It's just like some dude just like jizzing into a deep fryer with a batter.
exactly. It really
It's
is.
the greatest thing.
It is. Then they put that powdered
Basically
sugar
all
on
it is.
top. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Just a
Damn.
money shot of batter right into
If
that
you
deep
get that
fryer.
job, your testosterone just shoots up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm fucking jizzing everything. I'm creating life right now.
Like even if I saw
Impregnate
like
this
funnel
deep fryer.
funnel cakes are so good. Even if it was actual semen and I saw it coming from the member of somebody and they were deep fried, I would still eat it. I wouldn't feel anything.
Yeah, that's like that was the big secret is that funnel cake is
Yeah.
actually just jizz.
It's
Yeah,
just
Be like,
fried-
yeah, I'm
it's just
alright with
fried
that.
jizz.
I'd still be all about it.
All right.
Like sticking in my mouth.
Final question.
Yeah.
At exclusively Matt on Twitter, which is a really good Twitter handle, by the way. Props to you. What is better, body wash or bar
boy.
soap?
Oh man.
I'm actually gonna have to give it up for bar soap.
Really?
I
I'm
gotta-
a
I use body wash.
But same.
I am a man who gets very, very regular compliments on how he smells.
Okay. And
Ask
this is
my.
all
I
you-
know that's a weird thing to
bar
say.
soap.
All of my
But,
friends
like,
are always
that
all
can
about it.
happen with body wash too.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm sure it can. I'm sure it can. But this is what I have had success with. So it's what I use. It's apparently working for me. Gotta say bar soap.
I gotta go with. I will follow you in chat with an excellent point. He says it's all in the brand,
True.
and that
Yeah,
is
it-
Very
it
true.
is.
100% true.
Very true. 100% true.
There is some shit ass dick body wash out there.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
is, but the problem I've always had with bar soap is that it's basically impossible to find one that doesn't really dry out your skin. And that's the problem I always have is if I ever use bar soap like in a hotel
Yeah,
or
it is a
something,
lot dry. Oh,
it just
well, yeah,
dries
their
out your
shit's
skin
your stuff.
completely. No,
There's
I
little
know, but
bar
that's
soap they give you.
Irish
It
Spring.
feels like it's made out of candle wax.
yeah, it does. It does.
We use Dr. Bronner's soap, Castile soap, in our house. So
What is, that sounds like something that
it
Megan
is some
would
hippie
buy.
shit. It is some
Okay.
hippie shit.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be like real high quality or
It's
something.
awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. So I suggest trying it out. Find a scent though that you like because it's like it's not
Yeah.
super strong, but it's you're you washed and that stuff afterwards.
I mean, I'll switch it up. I use body wash, but like if there's a nice bar soap, I go to somebody's house and I'm showering. It's fun to get reacquainted with the bar soap sometimes.
Oh yeah,
I like to mix
especially
it up.
if
like to mix it up.
if it's not my bar soap, like that
I
thing's
go
that thing's going in my butthole.
That
Like,
thing-
it's going all over my butt.
I rest
inside,
my
all
that's
around.
on that's in my gooch. That's my balls are
Like
resting on top
that
of that
bar
thing
of
for
soap.
next
If it
use.
does not belong to me, it is exclusively waist down.
That's true.
So just know if I ever take a shower at your house, like use a new bar of soap.
So true.
Sark, I scrub
All
my
right.
skin with a razor blade to forget.
Jesus Christ.
I was gonna
Damn,
ask
it's so
before
deep.
Nick brought that up. I was like, you just use someone else's bar soap.
Oh, I don't even give a
Without-
shit.
No, never. I would never. That's so
Oh, I
gross.
don't give a shit, dude. No, I'll go in.
But yeah, so there you go, guys. Black lights
I do-
for bar soap.
I do the old bar soap on a wash rag.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
yeah,
old
yeah,
school.
it
That's
works.
old school shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I use the shower poof.
I just feel like I feel
Oh,
like
loofah.
Those actually
thing.
feel really nice.
Yeah,
I feel like a
quite
loofah with like good body wash. Just you get it done so much quicker. It lathers up and stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Brand. Tell me more.
Yeah, Brandon.
Tell me
keep
more
going.
about your lathering.
While you're at it, can you read
Tell
this?
me more.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Do you have a spare cig? I don't know why.
All right.
All right.
That is it. If you want to send in a question, we call out for them the day of the podcast. You can email to community@kbmod.com or tweet at us when we call it out. Make it good. See, these were all good questions. You listen to the podcast every week. You know what we're looking for. We have a couple iTunes reviews this week. Thank you, Brandon, for going to...
Yeah. Well, hold on, because here's the thing: is some of you watch this live, which is great. But if for some reason you can't make it live, or you're in a crazy time zone or something, you just can't make the cast live, you can listen to this on iTunes. And the great thing about iTunes is that there's this feature where you can rate the things that you listen to. And the best thing for you to do is, if you haven't already done so, you go to the KBMOD podcast listing on iTunes and you give it 5 stars. And then you write whatever you want. Like, that's the great thing, is there's a description or whatever. You can put whatever you want there. All we ask is that you identify yourself, and generally the people that leave reviews identify themselves as a member of the Hodes family.
They pretty much have the market cornered on obscure gaming podcasts. They pretty much, the whole family loves to get in, and they love us. So.
Well, they're just they're very helpful with the reviews that they provide, and so I'm sure that other people out there, like, occasionally we will get someone else reviewing the podcast.
Yeah.
But we definitely don't mind more reviews from the Hodes family. We enjoy all of their viewpoints. So we have 2 featured reviews this week. If you leave us a review, then you might get featured on the cast.
All right. First review here. The title of this review is Savory Yet Somewhat Bittersweet by I hate saying this word.
Say it, Dan.
So I'm going to say it. By Cuckold Hodes.
Yes.
I hate.
I love that you hate to say that. It is a
word.
horrible
It does not sound very nice. It's a terrible.
So much. I hate it. This podcast has left me utterly euphoric ever since I started listening 2 years ago. However, my wife has recently become concerned with the amount of time I've been listening to you guys over spending time with her. This has led me to develop some rather unsightly fetishes. Love the podcast, guys. And then
Jesus.
Yeah. And then we had another one, and this title is Sixth Stat Cast. I think it was supposed to be 6 stars. You can only 5.
He doesn't understand how the rating system works. But
Yeah.
6 stats.
By the illustrious and French Charlemagne Hodes.
Charlemagne. That's a good name.
Love KBMOD. Warm, jolly, loving guys. You want to talk brunch culture with love.
Brunch culture.
With love, Tim Hole too. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you for that.
But culture is 2 words with an
With
umlaut over the U.
With a fucking umlaut. I can't.
Oh, shit. These are good reviews this week.
Yeah. Thank you for those reviews. Make sure you do rate on iTunes or whatever podcast service you do use. And yeah, we'll be back next week. That is it for the podcast this week. Make sure you're following KBMOD at KBMOD Gaming on Twitter. You can follow me at NipNopsTV on Twitter. APL is at APL Fisher. Brandon is at Volition with a 1, first I. Blacklight is at Blacklight Attack, LITE. And Nick Fenton over here is at NFen. Somehow got that handle. What a jerk.
Norepinephrine.
No profanity. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Later, dudes.
Bye.